Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yep.
All
Sorry,
right,
just one
good.
sec.
It's all
Just give
right.
me that 1 second. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good. I just got off a call with Russell. He's like so impromptu.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's just so impromptu and doesn't stop. So when
Yeah.
Russell
What
talks,
was
he
it?
talks.
So, like, what is it that, like, is it the two comma club stuff that you're doing?
Yeah, yeah. So we're doing the two comma right now. I'm actually going to meet him. Well, everybody. We're going to be meeting on tomorrow, Wednesday, actually. So yeah, so we just got like so much stuff to get done, and then I work directly with Russell, Julie, and the billionaire code guy. He's coming in and starting to do some trainings with us pretty quick here. So
I love
what
that
I
guy.
did was, yeah, he's awesome, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, he's amazing. He
That was the cool thing
completely
about the
knows.
event. Like, being at, like a Grant's event and all that kind of stuff. It's awesome,
Yeah,
but everybody's selling something. It's like after each person speaks, they're selling something, and which is
yeah,
great. And like I was backstage when Russell was speaking, like, and he came, and I turned to Dave, and I was like, he's gonna close like over a million, and but the thing that I loved about Russell's event, because I had never been to the ClickFunnels event, was that every single one of them was about how you can build your business through, like, it was a strategy through
yeah,
ClickFunnels. You know,
yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. They did sell a little bit more this year than they did before.
Yeah,
Like last year, they didn't sell anything. This year, they had a little more pitches, but it wasn't bad. It
no,
wasn't
I mean,
bad.
they had the Action Addicts MD, and they had the, whatever that two comma club join for 18 G's thing was.
Yeah, you didn't join it.
I didn't, because one of the things that I was going to talk to you about when we were going through the call, and then we had to get off, was that I've made a ton of money in Phantom, but
Yeah.
having gone through what I went through before I started Phantom, I was 800 G's in debt trying to live.
How?
Well, it was 6 years of my life. I
Yeah.
had a child on the way. I had to refinance my house to pay legal bills, and I
Yeah.
wasn't working at the level that I was normally working. I was, one of the reasons I want to do this is because in the theater world specifically, there's no residual income. And so
Oh,
even though I've done 9 Broadway shows and I've like created roles, I don't get paid for those shows even after I leave them, even though the shows continue to
really?
make money. It's not like TV. No,
How
it's
does
not
that
like
work?
TV
That's crazy.
because the union sucks.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, it's crazy. So like Jane Eyre, for example, which was done in 2001, I
Yeah.
originated that role on Broadway. That show is done all over the world, and I don't see a
Wow.
penny,
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
originated. Yeah, exactly. So, I was out trying to get gigs
Yeah.
with one child at home. And, my wife was a dancer and she started building some businesses. But, when your income goes from like, three to 500 grand a year to,
Yeah.
15,000, you know, so
Oh my, that's crazy.
it's crazy. And that's part of the story that I want to tell later. Like, I don't know that I'm getting to the point where I kind of want to tell my story, not to say, hey, look, things are different, but to say, look, things have to change. And if I was able to make it through what I made it through, you can make it through what you've got in your life, and sort of
Yeah.
use that as a catalyst. I think it's a compelling story if done properly. I don't want to alienate people, and I certainly don't want to, be the poster child for the Me Too movement. But it's things have to
So
change.
this is like, James, so this is like later on, right? This is like your long-term goal kind of thing.
Yeah,
You want to be
yeah.
telling the story, right?
Yeah, I think that there's help that can be had, and some healing that can be done. And like when I looked at it, like, because Tim Story coaches me, right? So Tim is my coach, and we talk about
Okay.
it. And when everything hit, like Kevin Spacey, and I mean Weinstein is like, I mean, notorious. But
Yeah.
when things started rolling down the pike, and now Morgan Freeman, I'm like, Morgan Freeman has been, you know,
That's crazy.
it's crazy. So I was talking to Tim, and like, no matter what you say or no matter what anybody says, like, I could paint the story that I told you, and half the people are going to go, "Oh my God, I can't believe you went through that." But then there's going to be half the people that are like, "You're still an animal," you know. It's not going to change.
Yeah.
So I thought about the caption, "When I'm sorry is not enough." Like, never even mentioning the other side, never mentioning the other thing, but saying, look, you go through something in life that is a liability. You know, I had a brand, which was a massive brand, and I crashed the brand, and I had to learn how to build that brand back up. And you need to be mindful of the choices you make, but also you can't just expect to come back. Like Matt Lauer is not going to go, "Whoo, sorry, yeah, here I come." You've got to go and transform your life and then live your life as exemplary as possible and earn your way back into the world. And that's the kind of story that I think I would ultimately tell. It's not about saying, "Hey, you know, I'm back. Woohoo, nothing happened," because you can't hide it.
Can't do that.
Google will exist for a little while. So
that sucks. Can you not call? You can't get Google to take stuff off, or like, how does that work? It's just stuck.
It's just stuck. You know, in the UK, there's a thing that they've implemented that basically says you're entitled to your past. So you can actually have things removed in the UK, but in the United States, you know, it's freedom of speech. It's freedom of, you can be completely anonymous and rip somebody apart. And unless you can absolutely prove that it's false or there's copyright infringement, it's there forever. You know,
that's not right.
The New York Times, it's not right. And the New York Times is the big one for me because it has such weight that even though the article stems from 2008, it still ranks number on my first Google page.
That's insane. That's crazy. That's not right. Somehow you should, I mean, obviously you can't fight Google, right? But somehow you should be able to get that removed. I wonder with the new rules that have come out, if that's going to help to minimize that stuff.
Maybe. You know, the ultimate goal, as Grant Cardone says, he goes, "Dude, just plant more trees," meaning the more you do, the more content comes out. It's a race, basically. And I was talking to an SEO guy about it. You know, he goes, unless you have millions of dollars to just continually go out there and attack it, it's a race where it's a long-term race where you're building content. Like, that's 2008, right? It's sitting here. And I just keep building and building and building and building. And the issue, it was actually pushed down on like my second or third page. But when I did Phantom, there were so many backlinks to it, like people Googling me, that they found it and went boop, 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 boop. So it's just creating more content. So eventually that just goes down, you know?
Well, hopefully it does go all the way down. Do you do a lot of videos like on YouTube?
I started to. Another buddy of mine's like, "Dude, just do YouTube videos." So I just published one today. Because like my YouTube page is ranked on my first page of Google. But it's time. Like, what I look at in answering your question from before is that, so, you know, I need to be able to generate income because I've got 2 kids, and my wife, who, you know, was a major ballerina and did Broadway and did dance, and, you know, that's where her mindset is. And so she's used to performing, and, you know, we're both 52, and she's never really like had to create businesses. So she has like some dance businesses and some personal training businesses, and she's doing okay. But it's certainly not, you know, tons of money. So for me, that's where it came from, is like I was scraping to sustain. Like, you know, my wife didn't even know this at the time, and I've told her since, is that when we were going through that, there were some days where I was just eating 1 meal a day. Like, she didn't even know, right? So I was like,
"Gotta be kidding me!"
Sure that, no, like I was making sure all the money was there, so we could pay our bills. And then when I got Phantom, you know, we ended up selling our house in Los Angeles because we wanted to move to another space. And the house I bought for $300,000. And at the time we sold it, I had an $800,000 mortgage on it. You know, and for all intents and purposes, if I were just working regularly, it would have been no problem. I think the mortgage was like $2,800. It was a nice house. But given the fact that we were facing uncertainty, we're like, just put it on the market. So once we sold the house, we were able to pay down most of the debt. Because that debt included, you know, I mean, I think I owed like 600 on the house, and I had $200,000 of other debt and loans. So I was able to
Wow.
wipe out the debt. And then that was about a year and a half into Phantom. And then the rest of the 2 years of Phantom was trying to stash stuff away and figure out what tomorrow was going to bring. So,
Okay.
you know, the goal for me is, because look, the entertainment world is crazy. It's volatile. It's, you know, it's a crazy world. And I had this vision years ago of creating my own businesses. It was my own production company. And how can I be my own boss where I don't have to worry about, you know, all the stuff. I can just do what I want to do when I want to do it, how I want to do it, you know?
Are you like, are you okay to put it out there that like your financial status and like where you were and where you're kind of at right now? I feel like it's good.
I can talk about, you know, I know we're recording this obviously, so I have a,
No,
you know.
no, I'm recording this for us and that's it.
Yeah. No, I get it. I am not afraid to talk about the fact that I had massive success, then went down. I mean, I talk about that with my followers already.
Yeah.
You know, I talk about how I was at the top of my game, and then I crashed and burned, and I had to build back. You know, I mean, Will Smith put up this video. I put it on my YouTube page today. That, you know, when he put out his first thing, is about how he became Fresh Prince. You know, how he got the series. Did you ever see that?
I just saw it on your Facebook page. I haven't seen it though. Yeah.
So basically, he did his, you know, because he was a rapper, right? He came from Philly, which is near my hometown, and he made a buttload of money doing his first song, living large, all this kind of stuff. And then he said, you know, they put out their second album, and he goes, it went double plastic. He said it was crap, and he lost all of his money. And he said, it wasn't that I intentionally didn't pay my taxes, but I was like, oh, I owe you money. And he goes, so all the cars and the motorcycles, they all went away. And he said, I was broke. And he goes, and when you're famous and broke and riding on the bus and people want you to sign their baby, you know, and he said it was crazy. And he ended up, his girlfriend at the time was like, go stand outside Arsenio Hall. He's like, I'm not going to go stand outside Arsenio Hall. But he did. He got on Arsenio. I mean, he didn't probably stand outside. He probably leveraged getting on. Yeah. And on that, he met a guy, and that guy said, come to Quincy Jones's house. There's a series that I'm writing. So he went to Quincy Jones's house, and that day broke. Quincy handed him the script in front of, like, you know, all these big executives at his house and said, read it. So he's like, I don't want to read. I'm not ready. And his buddy basically said, you can wait a week and then everybody forget about this, or you can take the 10 minutes and change your life. So he read the script, and Quincy Jones turned to the head of the network who was sitting next to him and goes, do you like it? And he goes, yeah. He goes, no, do you like it? And he goes, good. Will, who's your lawyer? He goes, I'm broke ass. I don't have a lawyer. He goes to his assistant, get him a lawyer. He pointed to the attorney for the studio, and he goes, go out there, sit in the limo, draw up a deal. And they drew up a deal that night. They signed it, and that was how the Fresh Prince came out. So,
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I just don't want to go into depth at this point of how it came about. You know what I mean?
With this stuff that, well, you don't have to. I mean, I just think even your story from, I don't know if you like this, but like from Broadway to broke. And then like, I don't know. I just think it's like, so I don't know how you also want to have like your downspout, but you want to come up as well. Right. But that being said, I mean, Russell like really coaches us on how to like to share what we're currently going through. Right. And as you come out of this, I mean, when we launch this funnel, you know, let's just say your goal is to do, you know what, like, it sounds unreasonable. Like, what is your goal? I could throw out a number, but it might not be feasible. It might not sound real to you. So what would be your number? Like launching, let's just say we did it properly. You launched a webinar funnel and you sold your challenge, it was a music challenge.
Ultimately, I want to get to, you know, I mean, I want to get to 100 G's a month, you know, in a good world. And, you know, but short-term goal, I mean, if I'm making, you know, 40 or 50 a month right now, that would help.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where it all comes in price point. And, you know, I had this idea because I was looking at Garrett White stuff, and I love Garrett. You know, I love the fact that he's just so like, you know, I'm not necessarily going to go and punch guys in the face. That's not my thing, you know?
Yeah.
And going to the ClickFunnels event, ironically enough, I was driven by an Uber guy to the airport. Sorry, it's my wife just texting me about bringing the kids back.
No, that's fine.
Okay. And he goes, "You're going to the ClickFunnels event?" And I'm in Tampa, right? He goes, I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh," and oh no, it was after I was doing something in LA. I was going to Ted McGrath's event. I said I was at ClickFunnels event. And he goes, "Oh, I should have gone." And I said, "Yeah, I saw this guy Garrett White." And he goes, he pulls up his phone. And he goes, "Do you recognize this guy?" And he shows me a picture of the guy with the head, you know, the boxing headgear on is totally bloody. I'm like, "Yeah, I saw that guy in the video." He goes, "It's me." The Uber driver had gone through. Yeah.
So no way.
Yeah, and he's a marketer. He's a marketer, and he just moved to Florida, and he's just doing it for extra cash. But but I had this idea of what I'm really good at is communicating, and I'm good at motivating people. And I thought, what if I created how Garrett created his little movie trailer? It matches the world that I come from in terms of the entertainment world. It matches me. I mean, I can easily get on, and I'll do all the webinar stuff, and I can easily get on and talk like this. I do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it was video footage of me like walking and you see all these kinds of different things, and it's a narrative of me saying, look, you never know what life is going to bring you. You never know what your destiny is going to be. You know, you could rise up and you could have an incredible life, and then the next day you're down in the dirt. I experienced that very similar thing myself, and I go through a narrative about how I built up, and then you just see like waves crashing, and you hear, and then I hit rock bottom. I thought everything was gone. I thought it was done. I thought my life was over. I thought my career was over, and I didn't know what to do. But I also realized that if I didn't pick myself up, that I would never have the courage to look myself in the face ever again. So I decided to make a change. I decided to make a difference. And I decided to take steps, even though I didn't know what those steps were, to changing my life and making it what I really wanted it to be. And then build something like that. And then at the end,
so where do you have all the stuff? Is it just in your head right now, or do you like?
It's all in my head. I mean, I have some stuff that's written down, but this is how I write, and this is how I think. So like, you know, I also have a guy that I was going to talk to who's an amazing screenwriter who he's in LA, and he went through a rough time. He got pretty sick, and he's just home. He had a viral thing. He's got massive diabetes. But I thought I could ask him to help me write some stuff. Anyway, so that's what I was thinking, because I think it can impinge. And the idea that Tim Story said to me was that, like, when I go on a stage and I speak, like when I really speak, even the Grant Cardone thing, when I did Grant's thing, before I went on, Jared's like, "Dude, everybody's running over. Can you cut like 15 out of your speech?" I was like, okay. Like, what I did was off the cuff. And so the idea of taking the motivational stuff and the information that I have, and then coupling that with the music, it's never been done before, at least that I know, to meld those two together in a format. So.
Okay, I love that. So if you did that video, I mean, you can do it in a series, but could you not just take that, what you said right there, and do a Facebook ad to your webinar? Or I mean, it would be a Facebook ad. It could also be your webinar invitation, right? Like you have a webinar. Yeah, you have a webinar that you're promoting for. And then at the end of that, be like, if this sounds like you, then, you know, opt in for my webinar. I thought that sounded pretty compelling. And I mean, it's going to hit a lot of people, not just actors. It's going to hit people that have hit rock bottom and they need help up. And you could be that guy to help them, you know, position themselves back to like get to where they need to go. I thought it sounded great. We have it recorded. So I would almost transcribe what you just said right there.
Okay, cool. Well, let me ask you this. Hang on. I'm just turning on the fan in my office because it's hot.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the thing that Russell talks about the blue ocean versus these are my shirts, by the way.
Those are awesome. I was looking at your store. I've got it open here.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Russell talks about red ocean, blue ocean, and that's a pretty red ocean, with the motivation and the too high. Hang on a minute. Put it on too high. but the thriving artist thing is not a red ocean, it's a blue ocean. There might be one or two people at the most helping the artist survive and thrive. The problem is, as I've mentioned, is like the starving artist syndrome makes them not have money in their head. So
yes.
Even though it's a very blue ocean, it's and that's where my expertise is. You know, when you think about expertise, what's my expertise? I also have expertise in surviving some pretty crappy shit and coming out of it. So there is expertise in there. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, I go back and forth. It's like, I think about the blue ocean and I think about, okay, I could really cultivate that. Or do I just do like a split test? It's basically the same content about confusion, doubt, because that's the number one thing that I find people are missing, or they're stuck in confusion. When I did a survey on my one of my Facebook groups, you know, I said specifically for artists, I said, what are the top things you're dealing with? Name it. And the top thing was doubt, like confusion, self-doubt, not knowing where to go, not sure about finances. So all of that comes down to confusion. They don't have a stability on how to attack their plan.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm stuck. It's like, do I do the artist thing, or do I do just a general motivation thing? Like, I've been down, I've been up, I can help you rise back up again.
Okay, so do you do the starving, or do we work with starving artists that knowing that they're starving, right? They all have credit cards though, in my opinion, right? Everybody's got a credit card in the United States. You guys are like the biggest debtors ever, right? Like that's, because every time I go to an event, it's crazy, but every time I go to an event, like I'll be sitting beside somebody that literally is about to lose their house, and then somebody makes an offer for $24,000 and they're running to the back of the room swiping their credit cards.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. So I mean, is there a starving artist syndrome? Like, yeah, there is, but you're also like somebody that they would like love to work with. And it's almost like marketers, you know, marketers and Russell Brunson, like there's a lot of broke people in that room in ClickFunnels. Yes, there's a lot of people that make money, but there's tons. And like, what did he have? I think it was a no, was it? No, you know what? It's over like $10 million, I believe, said and done that he made on that deal. So I think there's like 791 people in that room in that group. There's almost 800 people at $24K per person. So yes, there's like a starving artist issue, but I think that because of who you are, you're like the Russell Brunson of your industry, right? Like people are going to love to work with you. It's not every day that they're going to get to work with someone like you, right? Like not a lot of actors or people on Broadway are making these offers right now. So even though you might, who's doing it? So like if they get an option to work with someone that's made such great money and has had such an impact in the industry, like why wouldn't they take that? I mean, they can go to get a loan, use a credit card, but it's definitely staying in the blue ocean. I just think that it's like, I personally think I'm more excited. Like when you talk about that, I'm excited about that. Like I think you do really well with that.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but I mean, that's your market. Like this is what you're an expert at.
Am I excising? Because hang on a minute. I'm looking at for some reason, my charge cord isn't charging my laptop.
Oh no.
Okay. No, it's all right. Something is weird. I see it's charging now. So one of the things that happened, and I agree with you, but one of the things that happened was that I do have followers. So when I did Phantom, for example, the theater was filled with 1,600 people a night. Mm-hmm. Probably 1% of those were performers or entertainers.
Okay.
The rest were business people or teachers or whatever, or students. And so I started cultivating a following that was across the board. Obviously, people who wanted to be on Broadway or people that wanted to perform. But also, I had a lot of people, like the head of my fan club.
Yeah.
She lives in Germany, and she's not an artist. There's another woman who follows me. Her name's Lane Staley, and she's an accountant. There's another woman, Stephanie, who's a huge follower of mine, who works at the Discovery Children's Museum in Orange County, California. And when I started moving into the artist thing, they felt like they were being forgotten.
So
I don't want to forget those people. And I spoke with one woman, this woman Lane. She came to the Vegas event, and we were eating. I've known her for a long time, so I'm very comfortable like hanging out with her.
Yeah.
And I said, "What do you think?" She goes, "Well, here's the thing." She said, "I want motivation. I want what you're giving. I want what you're teaching." And she had a friend there who works in the Mandalay Bay in the concessions area. She's been working there for like 25 years, and she wants to move into another business. And I said, I wanted to price point this maybe $1,300, $1,400.
Yeah.
And, and I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And her friend went, "I'm in."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, do I make it open? Like, do I say, listen, each of you has an artist inside. I have this idea of the secret artist or the hidden artist, because everybody has an artist. Even like you creating your business, there's an art to what you do, right? Yeah. So how can you cultivate that artist inside of you that will allow you to reach the goal that you want to reach? Then it's kind of like a wide swath, but it's still hitting the artist, and it's coming from my point of expertise, right? Like, I have survived in is what undoubtedly one of the most difficult professions in which to survive. There's only 0.1% of all the people in my union that make over $100,000 a year.
Okay.
Can
you tell me a little bit more, like elaborate a little bit more on each of you have an artist inside, like whatever comes out of your head, because this is really, really good. This is almost like Marie Forleo type stuff.
What's that?
Almost like Marie Forleo. She's like, what does she say? She goes, each of you have a special, hold on, let me check. Hold on. Yeah. I think she says all of you have a special gift inside, or the world needs that special gift that only you have, right? So something kind of along the lines of this. And she coaches and teaches on different things, like a lot of different things, but kind of like the same thing. That would be your tag.
Right. Where is she from? I don't even know. It's New World. Who is she?
Marie Forleo, she's like an entrepreneur that helps other entrepreneurs to build a business and, just create like a positive life and environment. So she's quite big. She's been around for a long, long time. But I'm just thinking like the messaging type thing is kind of like this.
Yeah.
And that would be like your tag. Like, obviously you want to perfect it, but I think like when you said that, and I've seen it on your stuff before, and when you said that, I thought about myself. Like, I'm not an artist. I can't draw. I can't sing. I can't, like, I'm just not like that. But it's still, like, it resonated with me as an entrepreneur, because I am quite, good at, like, what I do. And obviously, like, creating and crafting, offers and stuff like that. Yeah. So it did make me think of myself a lot. So I think having a tag like this is pretty similar to Russell's also. It's like you're only one funnel away.
Yeah. Right? And I've started saying you're only one step away. You're only one step away from, I think about, what I started working with Ted was unleashing the star power within yourself, right?
Okay.
Your star power. And I had a radio show called the Star Power Hour. And then when I went over, I took it over to Grant's Network, and Hank Norman had already done Your Star Power. So I couldn't keep that brand, at least for that channel. But I have yourstarpower.com. I've got all that kind of stuff. And so when I talk to people, it's unleashing the star power within yourself, finding the hidden artist within yourself and allowing that to come through so that you can change the world with your message, with whatever that message is. And I talk about whether you're a teacher or you're an accountant or you're, an artist, like a professional artist. A teacher is still motivating the students. You are the front line. You are your product. And you have to be able to tap into that creative power within you so that you can affect your students in the most positive way. If you're an accountant and you're crunching numbers all day, there is something within that has magic, as crazy as it sounds. The ability to create your business even. How do you create your business so that it becomes something special that is not just like everybody else? Well, that starts with you. It starts with the artist inside of you, who is unlike anybody else. That uniqueness that is you, and unleashing that star potential and that star power. Because when you look at Hollywood, you look at the influence that somebody has. Brad Pitt wears a watch. People go, I want that watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever they're wearing. It's crazy. It's not even about the art anymore. It's about who's wearing what gown on the red carpet.
Yeah.
And that's influence, right? How do you create that influence? Russell now it's like Tony Robbins said at it, when he goes, look, a lot of you probably came here because you wanted to see me speak.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. The people came because they stayed because they wanted to hear Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
He carries with him that influence. Grant has influence. Damon John's got influence. And so you need to build that up, but it has to be released somehow and it has to be focused.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
So what did you say? You said you had branded a title. What was that title called?
My radio show was called the Star Power Hour. And then I changed that to a television show because it was an hour long. And it was the Star Power Hour. And then when I took my television show it was a network called voiceamerica.tv, and I took it over to Grant's network, MyGC TV, which I still have. I can create whatever I want over there. Hank Norman already had Your Star Power. And because Hank was working with Grant on all of his branding stuff or whatever he was doing, I had to change the name of my show. So I called it James Barbour Now to match all of my social media stuff. Hang on one second. I'm turning this back. But so that's what happened. But I still have Your Star Power. I think if you go to yourstarpower.com, there's a opt-in page.
Oh, really?
I think so. It's just something basic that I did.
Yourstarpower.com, like that?
Yeah. Your Star Power.
Oh, you built this?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Oh, good. So is this okay? So you do have a funnel. Where is this going right now? To Infusionsoft?
It's just an opt-in. Yeah, I think so. Click the download now and see what is it. Oh. I don't know if it goes to Infusionsoft or not.
Oh, so you have this?
Yeah, I created that.
Wait, did you not tell me in the, where did I put those?
Oh, maybe I didn't. I probably forgot about it.
Oh, okay. Okay, because that's good to know. So so your Star Power, do you think we can use this or not? No.
Yeah.
We can use this.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So, okay. All right, I'm going to add this in here. So you have this, and this is like you're 100% good with it. You can start using it right now.
Yeah, if we wanted to. What this came about when I was talking to Ted, I said to him, look, the people in my industry don't have, $8,000 to drop. And he goes, yeah, but people in my world do. And everybody and their brother wants to learn how to be on a stage. And when you're talking about being on stage for 35 years in front of tens of millions of people, communicating on stage, every one of these entrepreneurs wants to learn how to do it because they all want to be on stages. So I was like, oh, that's true. And he goes, why would they want to work with Bob Smith, who's an entrepreneur, when they can work with the guy who was the freaking Phantom for 3 years and started 9 Broadway shows?
No, exactly.
Like, you're right. So, I mean, that was we got that up right before the 10X Growth Con, but it doesn't go anywhere because I didn't have anything to convert it to. I was, again, because I don't have the knowledge base to actually create how do I run it into, Stripe, and I didn't build that. I don't have the knowledge to do that.
Okay.
Makes
so
sense?
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense.
And
so when you build a funnel, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say what I want to do is I want to create video series. So I'll have like an 8-part video series on your star power for business people and, different tiers. Hey, you want to unleash the star power within yourself? Star Power 101, right? And then from there, hey, great, you've gone through 5 of the 8 modules. I want to tell you something right now. If you have this and you understand this, we go much more in depth into this next program. So right now, since you've gone through the first 5 modules, I'm going to offer you, Star Power, Elite for blah, 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 blah. And here's 6 more videos. And then on the Thriving Artist side, See, that's where I can do videos specifically to artists that say, hey, listen,
Yeah.
you're an artist. You know what I mean? So, and the reason I wanted to get this going was because I need to generate income. And,
Yeah.
you know, I wanted to get something up. Like if I can get this freaking 6-week boot camp up and bring in 20 G's, 15 people at, you know, whatever it is, 1,300, 1,400 bucks, that will give me some breathing room. And I have money put away, but it's like, I need to generate, right? So that will give me breathing room to start building the other stuff with you. That is going to be more long-term. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. So because I kind of got the feeling that you're rebuilding, right? But do you remember when I told you about Peg John or Peng June? So bad at names.
Peng, yeah.
His funnel, right? So we could use that funnel. Like we could use it because if you did, and I mean, I've already had it built. It wasn't even, I did it on a pretty good budget, but if we did your free offer, like that book that you have,
that book. Blueprint. I also have a Thriving Artist Blueprint too.
Do you?
Yeah. If you go to the Thrive seminar, this is one that I had created. I was going to do a live seminar with students in New York. A friend of mine runs an entertainment, an art school called IAMT, and we were going to do it. And then it got to the point where the students were just so like, we kind of did it last minute, and I wanted enough time, but I still have the funnel up. I can change that however I want it to be. There it is. Yeah.
Secure receipt now. So you already have all this stuff. This is crazy.
That was last November.
And sorry, so did you do this?
We didn't do it.
Oh, you didn't
I had it up and we were going to do it. And then it got to the point where, you know, when we looked at it, I was getting people in, and then it was the holidays. So all of the students who were living in New York went away for the holidays. And I was like, you know, it's not going to be.
So you went straight to a checkout page?
Yeah, because I didn't have the knowledge to build it. There's a guy named Ken Walls who I really don't work with anymore. And I said, dude, just, you know, help me out. And he's like, dude, if I can promote that I'm working with you as the Phantom, then I'll just have my guy do it. So I basically created all of this, and then he integrated Stripe with it and Infusionsoft. I did everything else.
Okay. So you have a Thriving Artist book as well, or just this?
I have a Thriving Artist Blueprint, which is when you download, when you sign in.
When you pay this. Okay.
Yeah.
When you pay,
and I can send it to you. Yeah, it's just a PDF. I can send it to you. And then I also have the book, which is not 100% complete. I have a Thriving Artist book, but it's
okay. So how complete is it, and like, what do you need to do still?
I need to edit it and make sure that it flows. Because what I don't want to do is, when I sent it to a friend of mine, she said, you have 2 books in one. She's a writer. Yeah. And basically here's data on what the arts world is and what you need to do and what you need to expect. And here's data on how to motivate yourself. And she said, you need more personal stories in the book. Okay. And you have so much content. So when I looked at it, I was like, okay, is it really, like when I look at Expert Secrets, I'm like, holy crap, that's actual, like, there's so much information in there, right? Yeah. That is great stuff. And I looked at mine, I'm like, there's a lot of great information, but is it really hitting where I wanted to hit? Is the value there? So I just need to go back and look and say, okay, chapter 1, da 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 da. And what I did was I sort of took it off of how Grant's books are. Okay. It's actually called Thriving Artist. So
fuck.
Yeah.
Thriving Artist. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Starving Artist is crossed out and says thriving across the word.
Okay. Thriving Artist, and then you also have hold on.
Thriving Artist Blueprint.
So you have Thriving Artist, and then you have Thriving Artist Blueprint, or same book?
No, it's different. So the book is Thriving Artist, and then when you join the program, you get a PDF, which is like 8 pages. That's a workshop that a workbook that you use in the live seminar. It's called the Thriving Artist Blueprint. Let me see if I have it. 1 second. I can send it to you.
This is awesome. You have so much content and so much stuff. This is like, oh, this is great. I'm happy. So you don't even really have to create anything. You just really need to organize it in a funnel. Like that's all you really need, right? At this point, you've got everything to launch.
And I need to be able to make sure. Like I think I want to do the you know, the easiest thing for me right now is to do that. Here it is. All right, I'm going to send this to you via mail.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have your email address in here. What's your email address?
It's
launch my digital biz.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm looking at is the fact that if I do this online boot camp and I launch it, I can get income immediately.
Right.
You know, like I can get on the webinar. I can go, hey guys, I have a warm market of 5,000, 10,000 people that follow me on the social media channels, and I have probably at sometimes 100 and up to 120 that come onto my live streams. So even if I sell just 15 of it,
wow,
that will give me some breathing room to go, okay, then you and I can go in depth and I can go, okay, look, let's really start looking what the future is going to be. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I want to get something that's going to churn income right now. And by going to these people and saying, hey, 6-week boot camp starts August 1st.
Okay.
Great. You know
so
what I mean?
how many people come onto your live streams? You said how many?
At times I've had up to 120, 150, but usually it averages between 30 to 60 at any given time.
Okay, so you have between let's just say around, even 50. So you have between around 50 people on average, right? Between that?
Yeah. And when I was doing them, when I was scheduling them, it was double. That's when I was having the 120, 150 show up.
Wow. And so you're doing this on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty good because if you do, what are you using to do your webinar? What do you want to use?
I have Zoom, so it's just sitting there.
So do you have Zoom webinar? It's not like that much, but I think it's.
Yeah, I do. I have.
Yeah, it's not that much. Okay.
Yeah.
So Zoom webinar, you can stream it to Facebook, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can stream it live to Facebook. So you do your webinar, and then you also launch it. You also have it on Facebook as well. So all the people that are watching you,
yeah, I've seen Russell do that. Russell does.
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's not hard to set up. But so all the people that are watching you all the time that are wanting you to offer them something can actually be a part of your webinar, whether they catch it, by mistake or whatever. But you can stream those all the time direct from Zoom, and then you can also record them. And when you have a high one that actually generates income quite a bit, then you can just automate it. Right,
which I love. And I think the automated ones would probably be more likely for the recorded content. Like I can say, hey, if you want, I've launched this 7 video series and you can get it right now for $97. You can just click the link below, right? So that way it's, because if I'm doing live events, which I'm going to be doing, right? 6-week boot camp live event. That's how Ted does his business, by the way. He'll do. Did you speak to him yet?
I did. Yeah, I'm speaking to him again at 6:15. So
okay. Good.
Okay.
So he does live event. He'll do webinar, whatever it is, into a live event upsell, right? And then he just repeats it, and he makes a crap ton of money, right? But he also has online content, right? Video series content. But I think if I have the video series that's just sitting there, it's clickable. They watch a video, they answer some questions, opens up the next module, opens, like that. That's just residual income potential that's sitting there, and I don't have to continually keep building it.
So you want to go? Just tell me, and then so you want to go live event?
Yeah.
No,
so what I'm going to do is
6-week boot camp.
6-week boot camp ends in a live event. So the way I have it set now is it'll be 6 weeks. And then at the end of the 6 weeks, I do a concert on a Friday night. Now, what I was going to do as part of the Thriving Artist thing was one of the chapters in the book, the final chapter is called Create Something. And I talk about how no matter what industry you're in, you have to take the bull by the horns. You are an entrepreneur. And for artists, you need to think of yourself as an entrepreneur. You look at Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber came about because of YouTube. There was just an article in the New York Post that was published the other day that a casting director friend of mine wrote. And literally, when people are going in for auditions for film and television, they're now asked, how many social media followers do you have? And actresses are yeah, like one actress literally leveraged it and said, listen, I have 1 million followers on Instagram. So obviously, if you put me in the film, you'll have at least 1 million people watching the film. And they're leveraging.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's about creating your own content. So as part of the 6-week boot camp, I was going to bring them behind the scenes and allow them to see how I actually, from ground zero, create a concert. And my concerts sell out all the time when I do them in New York. And so it would culminate in a Friday night concert that they're going to come to, which they get free tickets to. And then they're going to see how I build the whole thing. And then Saturday, 10 to 6, and then Sunday, 10 to 6 is a live intensive where I'm going to have an executive from Disney come. I'm going to have different opinion leaders come. And we're going to talk about taking the 6-week boot camp is going to be about erasing confusion and erasing doubt. Like right now on my funnel, I have doubt, the silent killer of your dreams, right? Because people doubt. And how do you erase that doubt? And I describe it like, you know, when you go to see Cirque du Soleil, right? And you have that guy that's on that plank and it's got that little roller thing and he's going like this, he's balancing on top of it, right? That's what life is. You're constantly living in doubt without stability. So the 6 weeks is going to be about identifying, confronting, and creating a plan to remove the doubt from your life so that you can move forward to create the life or the thing that you want to create. And then the 2-day live event is going to be about going in depth and putting that plan into place. And then if you can't make the live event, and this is what Ted suggested I do, because I have people from Japan and Scotland and London and Germany who follow me, then you can use that for any live event. Like the next live event, you can use that as part of your thing.
So how much is the boot camp?
I was originally going to do $19.95, and then everybody was hedging. The artists I was getting feedback.
Like
$1,995. So what I think I'm going to do is $1,495, $1,495, paid in full, and then a payment plan for those artists that can't, you know, which would be probably like $1,600, 2 payments of $800 or something.
Okay. All right. So $1,495 or 2 payments, $800, you said?
Yeah, I think. I mean, what do you think about payment plans?
I think 2 pay is good. I think anything that is more than 2 pay, you're going to lose people. And also when you do 2 pay, have a bonus or something at the end. Wait, it's 6 weeks. Okay. So so they have to make 2 payments in order to come to that live event concert, right?
Correct.
So you would only release those live event tickets or codes or whatever on the 7th week. So like pump that up, right? Like on your 7th week of the boot camp, I release your ticket to the live event or the 6th week or whatever. And then you'll have the 2 payments because you want to keep the people in there, right? Like a lot of these courses, you'll see that they say if you miss a payment or whatever, you're not able to come to the live event.
Right.
And so I think it's good. If it's 6 weeks, you have 2 pay, they have to pay that second payment and you're paid up and done. So I think it's good. I think it's good.
And then I can also add something, not just the live event, because, you know, some of the European people may just drop off because they're not going to come to the live event anyway. But maybe I can offer something special during the last 2 weeks, like special guests or, you know, you get something, you know.
Why not streamed? Why not a live stream event?
I could do that, I guess.
I think it's good because That's what Russell's doing right now. Like I'm going to Boise, right? But there's a lot of people that aren't going to Boise. So they're live stream, and you should have seen the engagement on these events. Like they were huge. I actually really liked it because I mean, if you make me watch like a course and I have to sit there and watch it, like I can't. But if it's live and like you don't want to miss a minute, it's actually not bad. It almost creates that urgency, right? Like you want to watch it live.
That's a great idea. That solves it.
Okay. Or live
live
stream,
event, which
and
will
then
be live streamed if you cannot make it.
Okay, yeah, I'll write it in there later. So
and then they'll get a recording of that. Like they'll get access to the recording if they've paid, right? See, and that becomes content too, right? I can have that saved as future content. Like, hey, I have this live streamed event that we did, the 2-day live event. And then I can, sell that for $97 or whatever price point I want it to be.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a great idea. That solves that, Latasha. Thank you.
Perfect. Don't worry. This is going to look a lot better later. It's just, I just want to get it in. Okay. So, $14.95 or cheapay. 800. So it's more, right? So it ends up being 1,600 if they take your 2Pay, which is good.
Right.
That's good. Because then it entices them to do the $14.95.
Right.
Okay. So from here, like, I would definitely say from here, you want to have something in the beginning. So what I would do, and I know you want to just make income right away, and you will make income right away, but I think by hacking or using Peng John's funnel would be the best. Using his funnel and adding your book in front of that. So same exactly what I'm structuring out right now. So your 6-week boot camp, but the only thing is that this live event is going to be here. This boot camp would be here. And then you'd have a book.
Right.
You'd have
the full book is specifically geared to artists. So
okay,
I would have to change it a lot.
But like when you talk about artists, are we talking about like the artist inside? Like, everybody has an artist inside?
No, because like one chapter is called Artist Math, and it breaks down in the full chapter. Like I said, listen, obviously my expertise is on the stage, even though I've worked in television and film, but I'm going to use an example of a stage actor for these purposes. As of 2015, and I put a pie chart there's a pie chart in the book, the top 91% of all professional stage actors in the union make $50,000 a year or less, which is $38,000 after taxes.
Okay.
69% make 15, which is $12,000. And then through the chapter, I literally break down the cost of living in New York as a performer. And then it shows you that basically you have $25 left a week. And that's if you're making $50,000 a year and there's only 9% making more money than you. So it's that specific. I go into there's a chapter called The Pesky Manager, where this friend of mine had a girlfriend at the time who was a very successful, she was a model and she was breaking into television, but she was a bartender because she had to make ends meet. And she had a callback for a television show, which was a major callback. And she couldn't get somebody to cover her shift. And basically she asked the manager, listen, I tried to get somebody to cover. I'm only going to be gone for 2 hours. It's a producer session. The manager was an actor, failed actor. And he goes, you can't go. You can't get somebody to cover. And now that you've told me if you go, I know that you're doing the audition, I'm going to fire you. So she was sort of stuck, Yeah, it's all true. So it's those kinds of stories that are really artist specific. I can write something, how long does the book have to be?
It doesn't have to be any length. It can be, whose books do I have? It doesn't really have to be any length. I mean, Russell's are pretty long. Whose do I have? Have you ever printed a book? Or no?
Like as in, well, my book is not, I haven't printed. I can see the page numbers.
Okay. No, I mean like printed and shipped, right? Like I can find a place you can print and ship from.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Okay, so I'm just trying to think. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I'm just thinking about using Peng's funnel, right? But his starts with a book. you can use a lot of different things. Like it doesn't have to be a book, but it just works really well. Like that's Russell's model.
Yeah. What about, hang on a minute. Let me show you something. 1 minute. Wait a minute. Now, the thing for me is that a lot of people have this already, but I could do this as an offer.
Oh.
It's my CD.
Okay.
But a lot of people already have that. Like I could, a lot of people in my warm market have it, but I've got hundreds of these.
Okay, and so how would you ship those? Like, what if we launch this and you get like 2,000 orders? Like, is that bad? Like, what if you have to ship them?
I just stick them in an envelope and ship them.
Okay. Other option is like ship happens or ship offers, whatever. You can send it all to them and they ship it out for you.
Okay.
Because it can get pretty monotonous. Like if you launch this and all of a sudden you got a crap load of orders,
yeah,
it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, and I also have to make sure that I have enough inventory because I probably have about maybe 400 left here with me.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to take this back. So I'm going to ask what free offers.
I should give you my ClickFunnels login because you can see the funnel that they started to create, that girl Tiffany started to create.
Oh, okay. We're almost going to scrap. We're going to scrap it. I can almost guarantee you.
Okay.
We'll probably honestly use Pang's funnel. Like I've already had it built.
Yeah, that's fine. It's the stuff that she created, it was ugly, Mm-hmm. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, Pang's funnel's like, I mean, it's great. It converts high and he's worked directly with Russell to have it created. So I think it's like the best and it's going to save you money. It's going to save us time. And, we have two options. Either you can either take this stuff and put it into the funnel. I can transfer the funnel to you and then you can put the stuff in it yourself. Or we can just pay one of my ClickFunnels guys and he puts it all in there and you're literally just going to have it done. And I won't we can work something out. Like I like working with you already and we can figure it out. So
I'm looking at this quite frankly, Latasha. This is just step one. I'm looking like 10 years down the line with you. You're like, you're like, bam, you're on it. There's no lag, and I'm like this, and you're like that too.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So, I'm looking at this long term. The other thing that I can do, just, I could probably blast out a 50-page book on doubt in a day,
Okay.
And, like Grant did, the millionaire booklet. It's a little tiny booklet. Little teeny.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah. Did he send it out? He shipped it?
Yeah, he sends it out all the time.
Hold on. Okay, so I just talked to, 1 second. So he sends that out. So you could do a quick book like that. And then I found this site. Hold on. Blockbook. There's a couple of these companies that actually ship as well. Hold on. Blockbook.com. No, what?
Oh, sorry.
.com. No, there we go. Okay, so here you can create little books. I don't think they ship. Oh my God, it's so slow.
I found some places too. So I have one.
Have you?
Bookmark. Yeah.
This is actually not expensive at all. And they actually have pretty decent stuff, but I'll send you the link to this. But I just got it from, I think the guy that owns Ship Offers. It's either Ship Happens or Ship Offers. But he was at ClickFunnels and I met him and he recommended me to this company and he prints all of his books through there. Another thing is like, you don't have to be like, oh my God, do I have to print and like pay for a bunch of stuff? You can pre-launch it, right? Or pre-sell it. So you don't even have the book in your hands. As long as you have the content and, within 2 weeks we can get it out and you can start, pushing them out. You don't want to wait any longer than 2 weeks. But I mean, 2 weeks, if you get, 500 orders or whatever, then we deal with it then, right? But I would just be more concerned if you didn't have the content. Because a lot of
I can create a book. I can write very quickly. So
okay, that's awesome. So for your webinar, I just feel like this Unleash Your Star Power with like this is where it's at. Like I just feel like it's sexy, it's fun, and that's where a lot of people are going right now. Like there's a guy on Facebook, I'll have to find him, but he is talking about creating your own TV show.
Yeah.
And that's what Russell's talking about too. I mean, Russell does it. He's got his own little game show. He's got his, you know, like always doing, you know, daily uploads of his videos and like what he's doing. And people just want to watch. And like for people to be able to watch your life, like your real life, it can't just be obviously like giving, you know, content and advice is cool, but like your real life, like, you know, with your kids and your family. I don't know if you guys are like that or not.
You froze for a second.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't put anything on my kids just because it's like, because of what I've gone through. I don't want them to be a focus of attack. Like I never want them to know where they go to school and stuff like that. But my wife and I do stuff all the time when I'm traveling. I'm like, oh, I'm in an airport. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God, I'm tired. You know, here's a costume fit. It's that kind of stuff. Like when I go to New York to do this big event, I'm going to film the whole thing. I agree with you. And what Peng said, did you see Peng's presentation at ClickFunnels?
I did. Yeah.
You know, it's brilliant. And how Russell breaks up, you know, YouTube and all this kind of stuff. And that to me is where it is. It's like, you don't need ABC, NBC, CBS because you got YouTube. You got YouTube. You got Facebook. You know, it's the perfect, the perfect medium. And I know who you're talking about, you know, and also Hank Norman does this too. Hank's a little gruff for me. But you know, he talks about, you need to be a star. You need to build your show. You need to do this, you know, F this, F that. He's like Tim, I don't know if you know Tim Grover, but it's very, very harsh.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that if you having, I mean, just to get the content out, right? Like this is almost, talking about the show is almost going to be pushing sales to your funnel, right? So the funnel is easy, right? So it's like, how are we going to get sales to the funnel? So, I mean, you can throw, you know, as much money as you want at Facebook ads or Instagram ads, which is great, but you have to have the money to throw at the Facebook ads. I mean, Russell recommends doing like 1,000 per webinar until it starts to convert, and then you can throw more money at it once you have your conversion numbers. But I think with this show, or like you just getting, you know, starting to put content out there like this, like a lot, I mean, you do put stuff out quite a bit, but to put more out there and really focus on like brand yourself around the star power thing, I think it's huge. There is, like I was saying, there is a guy on Facebook right now, and he's talking about creating your own show. I don't even know where this guy came from. He just popped up, but I've been watching him. I mean, it's cool, right? Because that's like the big push right now. I mean, you automatically become the instant celebrity in your industry. You already are, but even more so in the marketing industry. And like, why would I, you know what, if it was you versus this other guy that just popped up out of nowhere, I'm going to learn from you. Like ultimately.
Exactly. I have to leverage that. And that you do. Really what it is that I like, because I wasn't sure where I was going. It was like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm pushing people here. Oh no, but that's not ready yet. So I'm going to push them here. Once I have the thing, it's full bore, you know, like the thing I did today that I put on YouTube. I don't know if you saw it yet, but it's like, what's your destiny? Like I want to do shirts that say Destiny Rising, right? Okay. Listen, here's the thing. What is your destiny? You're asked this all the time. It's your destiny. My destiny is. Well, what is your destiny? Really, your destiny is a destination. And the destination changes because once you reach that destination, you're going for another destination. So have you really achieved your destiny, right? And so I can say at the end of this, look, go out and create your destiny. I want to help you do it. You know how you do it? You go to starpower.com. Yourstarpower.com, click that. I'll help you find your destiny. I can just drive traffic, right? And then as I start generating income, I can go, I'll take that and put it toward Facebook ads, right? And we'll tweak the funnels and do all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for some. I just want the easiest thing for you to launch the fastest, right? I mean, we can do the books. We can do the books. I think that you pretty much have that. The live webinar is also a free gift. The live webinar is also a free gift. And on the end of that webinar, so this would change a little bit. Right now, you would have a free gift, your boot camp 2-day, right?
Right.
Otherwise, you would have your webinar. So this would, your webinar, and then, see, Peng still has, whatever. Anyways, you have your webinar, and then you would sell them this, right? So it's a direct to order. Yeah, a direct to order what you wanted. And also we don't have to worry about the free gift, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can start with a live webinar and while I'm writing the book.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if this webinar takes off and it converts, then it converts, right? And so
Yeah.
your webinar would be products.
Like I've already
So
got.
your web, huh?
I think I started building the slides for the webinar, but yeah, it's right here.
What is it? What is it called?
Well, right now it's just because it's how to overcome doubt without giving up your dreams. And then I go, doubt is the silent killer. I'm reading it. Doubt is the silent killer of your dreams. I want you to realize your vision as a person, an artist, a student, a parent. And then Russell says, if you stay until the end, you can give him something. I said, if you stay till the end, I'm going to give you the Thriving Artist Blueprint. What makes this different? I literally copied it off of the perfect webinar script. I've started multiple shows, nominated and won multiple awards, 35 years of experience in front of tens of millions of people, created and produced countless sold-out live events around the world, and I've worked with some of the top names in the entertainment and business fields. I've done a lot of things right, and I've done a lot of things wrong. After doing this for 35 years, I couldn't wait for someone to discover me. I had to create my opportunities. I had to turn off the noise of those who said I couldn't. The only way I could create the life I wanted was to rid myself of doubt. I discovered this the hard way. You get to cheat. And that's basically what I peppered it with different pictures, but I haven't finished it yet because I wasn't sure where I was going, what I was doing.
Okay. And is that a funnel or is that your script?
That's just the script for the webinar.
Okay.
I have the webinar template up that I created myself. There's a split test in there. I didn't launch it yet though.
Okay. Do you have, is that done through the perfect webinar? Like you have the software?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's saved and ready to go, because if you save it a certain way, like it's going to give you your bullet points, it's going to give you your headline, it gives you everything.
Yeah, exactly. I have it all. I haven't completed it. I haven't filled it all out yet because I wasn't sure what my content was going to be. Like now with Unleash Your Star Power, I'll go back and say, unleash your star power by ridding yourself of doubt or whatever I decide it's going to be. Once we go, okay, this is what we think the market's going to be, then I'll create the webinar to mimic that. But I think I have a stack in there. Let me look. Where is it? Yeah, I haven't. I'm like on page 13, and I have like some testimonials that I've got in there, but that's all. I haven't did a 30-day guarantee.
Okay.
But I haven't done anything else. So I've got about 15 pages of 60 done.
Okay, so I have so your webinar, like let's just say it's called Unleash Your Star Power. And then it's like, are you an entrepreneur, entertainer, or speaker that is looking to unleash your star power? I think that way you kind of catch everybody, but it's like we're the same. I mean, we're all looking to be on stage. We're all looking to, talk about something and teach or train or whatever, give something to an audience, right? Yeah. So I think by using entrepreneur, entertainer, or speaker, it kind of like grabs everybody without being in the red ocean, right? Like, so it says you're talking to entrepreneurs, you're talking to entertainers, and you're talking to speakers. You can change it however you want, but that's what I just thought of. So you don't have to stress so much over who are we launching this webinar to. Like, you're not launching to everybody. You're launching to these 3 categories or whatever 3 you want, but you also capture entrepreneurs. So you're not pushing your clients out, your current followers out. Right. And you're also talking to speakers and the entertainers. Like, honestly, it's becoming one category at this point. Just because, I mean, with Russell saying, hey, like everybody should have a show, or, now everybody wants to show and now everybody wants to perform. Right. So perform, like be on stage training or teaching is still somewhat of a performance.
Sure. Of course.
So what do you think about that? Like, are you an entrepreneur, entertainer, or speaker who's looking to unleash your star power? It could be sexier. You could change it. You're the writer.
Yeah. The question is when I hit that, the content that has been impinging on my current followers are the things about erasing doubt, of getting clarity. And so I'd have to make sure that I'm gearing the content in that way, but I think that I can, because it's about being clear of your purpose or being clear on your purpose. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, where are you going? Who's your market? What are you saying? What are you dealing with in your life? And the first step that I talk about, no matter who you are, is making sure that you're living as stably as possible. And what do I mean by that? If you're concerned about something that happened last week and you're holding that in your head, and you lost a deal last week, or your husband told you that, you know, you shouldn't pursue your dreams, or your coworker said that, you know, they took a client away from you. If you're stuck on that, then you're not dealing with what you're dealing with right now. You're living your life based on something that happened last week that doesn't exist anymore, and you're not stable, right? So it's being clear of purpose, you know, confronting those points of confusion and creating your destiny. So that is what I know that in this warm market, they're going to respond to. I think that this is something like, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
If I didn't need to generate cash right now, that's where I think that's where I would go, because that is a bigger scope. Right.
Okay.
With the market that I've got, with the artists and the people that are going, I don't know what to do with my life. I'm afraid. I'm scared. I don't know how to make a choice. I don't know how to create clarity. That's where the people that are following me are coming from. They're stuck. They're literally stuck. And I help unstick them.
You help unstick them. Okay. Looking ditched out, fear, overwhelm. So, okay. So with what I said, who do you think is going to help you to create the income right now? Like, who do you want to talk to right now? Your first webinar. You can change your webinars over and over. Like, we can, as soon as it's in your system, you can duplicate it, change it. I mean, with your energy and the content that's in your head, I mean, you could create webinar after webinar after webinar, right?
Yeah.
So
I think the idea of that hidden artist, or the secret artist within, and unleashing your star potential, that to me is where we can go, because that speaks to entrepreneurs. It speaks to speakers. It speaks to a mom who literally all she wants to do is break free and go out and sell her knitting, you know, or it speaks to the dad who, you know, all he really wants to do is come home and play guitar, or he really wants to launch this business about how to make, like, I got a buddy who's from the Navy who works for the EPA, but all he really wants to do is he makes carvings with chainsaws. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
And
yeah,
that's what he does. And even if it's not an artistic thing, it's like you said, it's you want to make yourself the influencer in your field. If you're a network marketer, you want to become the star in your field. How do you become the star in your field that's going to take you to the next level? You know?
Absolutely. Okay. So if we had to say 3 people who you want to talk to in your first webinar, who would it be?
I would say artists, entrepreneurs, and I mean, I want to hit people that are, because like my friend Lane and this woman Stephanie, they don't consider themselves entrepreneurs or speakers. They're the average person. You know, they're the person that's going 9 to 5, you know, working for Dell, or working for a museum, or working in an accounting firm, or working in H&R, you know, that want to break out. So I don't know what they're called. I don't know what that.
Well, they want to break out. They want to have a business eventually. They just don't know how to do it.
They want to realize something other than they're doing. They feel like they're stuck in a mundane situation, and they want to have more excitement and more clarity in their life. They may be content with their job, but they're kind of complacent. They're just it's the workaday person, but I don't want to say the workaday person, because that's kind of diminishing.
Yeah.
You know?
Artists, entrepreneurs, or, you know what? I'm just going to put 9 to 5ers. I'm going to go back to my group. 9 to 5er. Break free. Let's use break free. All right. Break free from the doubt, fear, overwhelm, star power. Okay.
Create this.
So
unleash the star power within yourself. Do you like that?
Yeah, I do like. So you have everything already moved from Infusionsoft over to ClickFunnels?
All it was, the only reason I had Infusionsoft was because I saw the benefits of the campaigns. So
Okay.
I just created a little bit of an autoresponder for people that signed up for the jamesbarbour.com newsletter, which was, hey, this is what I'm doing. And look at me, and here's some social media. So I just took all of my followers and just pot them over. So they're there now.
Okay. So I work with all the ClickFunnels guys. So I'm pretty sure any issue that you're going to have could just be coded. And I don't think, I mean, you're just starting with your business right now. Like you're just starting with the whole online thing. So I don't foresee it being that confusing that we can't, or that, that intense that we can't use ClickFunnels or Action Edit. I mean, majority of the people that I know use the full suite.
Yeah. The things that I ran into were the following. Number one, with Stripe, I checked with them, and there doesn't seem to be a way, and maybe your guys will know, to do a payment plan. What I saw you have to do is if somebody does 2 payments, you have to do it on a recurring billing. Then you have to manually go in and stop their recurring billing. That's with Stripe.
Okay.
So maybe we can check with that. The other thing is,
I know how to do that already. So Stripe, you can do
you
2Pay. Yeah, you can do 2Pay. It's just got to be within 30 days. Like, so you can't say, it's just like, it won't let you go, okay, well, in 9 days, charge them this much. It will say, you can charge them 800 today and then 800 in 30 days.
Oh, which is perfect. So 800 for the first, like if I did the 2Pay to 800, and then after 30 days before they start the second round, they get charged.
Yeah.
The next 2 weeks, they get charged the next 800.
Yeah. You just have to, the only thing you have to do is go into Stripe and set that up. So again, they can do it. Like pretty much anything I tell them, they'll do it. Right. So It's not hard to do. I mean, I can do it myself. So.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
The other thing that I looked at was the way Ted builds his business is he gets people in, and then he makes an offer. And then when they opt in, that email address, like it says, hey, click below. And I have a whole video for this, click below to book your free coaching session.
Okay.
And what it does is when they click below on Infusionsoft or in the video or on the funnel, it takes them to Appointment Core, which allows them to book a coaching session or a call with one of his coaches, and his coaches are his salespeople. So the salesperson basically gets on and closes them on the high ticket number. So,
okay, so this is from a webinar, or where is this from?
It's from a funnel.
Yeah.
And the funnel, when you click the button, the funnel, you click the book the coaching session, the free coaching session, because that's what he's offering on his thing, right? It's like free plus shipping, but it's, hey, book a free coaching session with Ted. So what that does is they click the button, the books button, and it goes to his thing called Appointment Core. It opens up a calendar, and it says, select a time. They put a time on a calendar, and then that calendar time goes to the salesperson. And the salesperson then gets on the phone and closes them on the
so this would be a high ticket funnel. This would be like for high ticket, right?
Yeah, it's like $8,000.
Yeah, so because you can afford to do coaches with a high ticket. Okay. But, so this,
the thing for me is I'm not going to get on the phone with a lot of these fan bases because I told you I have some crazy fans.
Yeah.
So for me to get on the phone, I do have a guy that's going to do sales for me. He's just going to take 10% or 5% depending upon what it is.
Okay.
He's a cool dude. I don't know what his skill set is, but he seems to he has a degree in music from Berkeley, and he also does sales and real estate. And he's like follows Grant Cardone. He knows who Russell Brunson is, and he's pretty on point. So, I could eventually run that, but right now I don't need it. I don't think.
So you're saying like you'd want to do, this would be your free offer would be book a free coaching session.
Eventually. I mean, the reason Ted does that is because he has a higher rate of closing. If people if they're not going to buy his product, you can say, hey, book a free coaching session. Right. And then there's a qualification. So they get on the phone with one of the coaches. The coach qualifies them and says, okay, listen, in order to get on the call with Ted, we need to take your credit card and we're going to ding it for $200. You're not going to get charged, but it's just to hold it because Ted's time is valuable, because if you don't show up, then it's a liability for Ted. They also go through and they qualify to see if this is even someone that they want to work with, because sometimes they're crazy.
Yeah.
And then the $200 means that they're more serious because they're going to show up.
Okay.
But I don't know that I have the need to do that unless we're going to do the, right now it's the webinar and the $14.95 product. And what I can say, and what Russell did in the perfect webinar, the second one, he said, hey, listen, if you have any questions, call this customer service number, right?
Okay.
And you can talk, and the guy's name is James Bartlett, the guy that I'm bringing on. I said, you can talk to James and he can walk you all the way through it. So then they can get on the phone with James and he can just close them there. It doesn't have to be free coaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
What are your thoughts on this free coaching thing?
I think it's good. I just actually started doing it. I don't really have the time, but I did. I'm just taking on maybe 8 or 10 customers, and that'll be it. Right. But just in the middle, because I'm going to be launching my own product pretty quick here, but I just wanted to do something else in the meantime. But I think it's good. I mean, if Ted is using it and closing sales with it, of course. And so is Russell. Russell does the same play. So he does the same play with this as well. And then he's got a whole team that does the sales for him. I think it's really good. I think for you do run into a little bit of issues with your fans, right? Ted's a bit different because he's a marketer.
Right.
I mean, you're famous. So that's pretty, I mean, there runs an issue. So I think,
but he doesn't get on the phone with them either. I mean, they get qualified, they do this, and then the guy sells them into a package, right?
Okay.
And then he'll get on the phone with them, if they're really serious, because this is for the $8,000 package.
Okay.
So, I think this would be something more for when we launch the entrepreneurs and CEOs and speakers one, where, these guys want to get on the stage and are serious, and it's going to be a $5,000 package to work with me or whatever that is, So the whole reason I brought that up is because it doesn't seem right now that Actionetics has anything to connect to some sort of appointment software.
It does. So for Actionetics, so you don't really need it. You don't need Actionetics to connect to that, right? I have a page, if you had to come through the actual funnel, we would have been on the phone doing the same thing, but it was 3 steps before this. It was it's the free discovery call. And then there's, it's book an appointment and I give them a free gift, I believe. Right. And then they go to the discovery call, which is free, 15 minutes. And then after that, they go to this. So I offer them a business intensive. So you can do the same thing, but with me, I don't take them to Actionetics. I just take them from the funnel. They click and they say yes. And so I grab their information on the pop-up, right? Just in case they get busy or they don't fill out the schedule. On the next page, it's actually got the schedule embedded onto the funnel. Oh. Right. So so then we'll just take them through a path, right? So they're free coaching call, and then we'll take them into the appointment scheduling. And then where does that go? That goes back to the calendar that you choose. So I think I use, oh my God, I don't know. I use Calendly. Okay. Have you heard of it? No. Okay. So Calendly works. Schedule Once works. What appointment, do you have an appointment setting software right now? No? Okay. No. So Calendly's good. It's not expensive. I think it's $12 or something, maybe less. So that one's good and you can embed it. You can also embed Schedule Once, but I use Calendly and it works perfectly. So again, Actionetics, you don't need Infusionsoft for that. All right, good. So there's really no reason for me to have Infusionsoft. I hate Infusionsoft. Yeah. We work with it, but I do not like it. It's so much money. I used to have Infusionsoft. That's how I got into funnels. For me, when I first found out about Infusionsoft, I was so excited because something clicked in my head and I was like, I get it. And I love this. I just loved it. Yeah, me too. Yeah. And it's confusing as all shit. It's pretty hard. Yeah. I mean, I did it and I actually took most of the certification and I did like it. But when I saw ClickFunnels, I was like, this is gold. Because the one thing I hated with Infusionsoft, I just believe that your clients should be able to walk away and not use your services. That to me is how you, I mean, does it make it reoccurring business? I think so, because you have a client that's happy. You're not putting them into something that they have to consistently pay you. It's by choice, right? You know, we work together. You're like, she was awesome. I want to work with her again. Not because the software I put you in is so confusing that without me, you can't move. I literally had a conversation with one of the top guys at Infusionsoft
4 weeks ago because they had done so many things, and like I've been told this and this and this and this, and the guy finally said, "Hey, listen, I totally get it. We really want you to stay. I'm going to get you somebody who can help you build this really simply, and I'm going to have it for you within 2 days." So he goes, "I'm going to just reinstate you and we'll have it." It's been a month and I have yet to hear from the guy.
What? This is somebody that works with Infusionsoft?
Oh yeah.
Holy, see, they don't care.
It's happened 4 times. And the final guy was one of the top tier guys in Infusionsoft. And how I got to Infusionsoft, like they waived all the fees for me. The guy that the sales guy knew who I was, and he was, "I'm a theater guy from, oh my God, I know who you are." Da, da, da. So they waived all the setups, everything. This is when I was making money. And it worked. Like I used Infusionsoft to sell a $150 ticket, VIP ticket to my concert. So I sold like 10 of them, made $1,500 and already paid for Infusionsoft. They're like, "Oh, this is awesome." But then putting all of these things together and it's just, I was like,
yeah,
it's massively confusing.
It is,
the thing that I like is to be able to just put a tag in and tag anybody. I love that. And then I just want to send it all out to this one tag. And I know that that's sort of how Actionetics works, but it's a little different in there.
Yeah. So I will hook you up with the Trello board. We'll figure out whatever works for you. And then I'll hook you up with the Trello board, and you're just going to put, like, if you have something you want done, you just put it into the Trello board, and then we'll get it done. Right. So if there's pretty much, like, you should hear me explain stuff to my guys sometimes. Like, I just throw it in there. I'm like, "Okay, do this, pull a bunch of stuff from this," and they pull it together and they make it work. Like, they're just really, really, really good. They're just really, really good. So you don't have to worry about how. It's like turning on a light. Don't worry about how it turns on. Just know that they can get it going.
Yeah, that's honestly what I want, because I look at, like, when Russell was talking about the fact that he's like, "I'm the create guy." Like, that's how I am. I'm like, I want to create here, and I can talk this, and I've got this idea, and I've got this idea. Okay, go. Like, I just want someone to do it,
Do it, and just get it done.
See it, and you go, "Great. Okay, perfect. Now we can make it happen."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. If you wanted to generate income as well, we could go live webinar, boot camp. Okay. And then you could actually have an upsell.
Right. So what do you think too?
So you could have an upsell, but you don't have the coaching, you don't have sales team in place right now, right?
I have one guy, but we haven't trained on it because we don't know what we're selling. What I was going to do, and this is what I started hitting at Grant's event. I was sitting at a breakout table with Ted, and there were these 2 guys sitting there, and they knew who I was because I performed last year and I performed at the Cardone Capital event. He goes, "So what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, what I do is I teach entrepreneurs how to unleash the star potential within themselves." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, what do you do?" And he goes, "Well, I'm basically," he'd red beard. He goes, "Well, I'm basically, I'm kind of the face of my real estate firm. I'm the guy that goes out and, like, talks to all the people."
Yeah.
And I said, and that's how he was talking. And I said, "Well, let me ask you something." I said, "If you're a car salesman, or if you're buying a car and you go into a Ford dealership, and you have the car salesman in front of you and the guy's a total jerk, right? You may buy the car because you know the car, but chances are you're not going to come back and buy from that salesman again." He goes, "Yeah, you're right." And I said, "So what I teach, because in my industry, I am my brand. I'm not selling an iPhone. I'm selling me, right? And no matter who you are, whether you're a teacher, an accountant, a real estate person, or an actor, or Grant Cardone, the first pathway is that person. So I teach people how to be the star in their field. I teach them how to get up and communicate. And I teach them, through my 35 years of experience in reaching a high level in the entertainment industry, how to achieve the things that I've achieved, but in their own field." And he said, "Can I fly you out to Colorado?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then Ted and I were going to work on it together. And that's the kind of thing that I can do one-on-one. That's the upsell, right? You want to work with me one-on-one, 5Gs or whatever it is. And I'm going to take you in depth on how to deal with confronting the obstacles that are blocking you and creating the star that is you in your field.
Okay. So, all right. You have so many different things you could do, but
I know. That's the problem. I got so many ideas.
I know. Okay. So You could do an upsell on your offer page. So like when you do the live webinar, then you're going to send them to a checkout page. You're generally going to say, okay, go to www/this, and then they go and check out there. And you say for the
Right.
first 20 people, whatever, I'm going to do this. And you have people check out while you're on your webinar. But after they hit that page and they pay, they can actually go to an upsell, and it will be a video of you saying exactly what you said. Listen, I'm looking to work with like five people exclusively. I'm only got 5 spots. That's it. I know you don't want to get on the phone with them, but I don't know. I mean, if you're charging quite a bit, I just wonder how can we buffer them?
Yeah. So here's a question. What I was thinking about when I was doing the artist thing, and I think I can do it with anybody, is that last step is called create something, right?
Okay.
So I take them through, and the one thing that people are not doing is they're not taking action. They're not creating their own television show, whether they're a real estate person or a funnel maker or whatever it is. They're not actually doing it.
Okay.
So I have successfully created productions throughout my career.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was going to say for the Thriving Artist people was, listen, now that you have the blueprint, now that you've been through this, and you see where you're going to go and how to remove the doubt so that you're clear on what your purpose is.
Yeah.
Now you have to create something. So sure, you can go off and do it on your own, and we can identify in the 2-day program what you're going to go and do. But what if I were to take you from point A all the way through to Z
Mm-hmm.
to map out exactly what you're going to do to create the thing that you want to create, that you will be the star of? Does that make sense? Where you're the star of your own thing, right? And which is either being able to be a star on stage and talk to your clients, being able to develop your own YouTube show. And I've done this. I did this with a guy who's a CEO of his own real estate company. I said, dude, you need your own show. He goes, how does it work? And I said, do this. He's a friend. I'm like, do this, 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 and this. These are the key points. Oh my gosh. And he did it. Right. And then he started getting asked to speak at all these different events. So I could upsell to that and make it general. Like, you need to create that thing which will allow you to be the star in your field. And I can take you through that. Right. And normally, like when I do this with, and I've done it with like productions, it's 20 G's. And when people are, and I'm helping them create concerts or shows, I get a percentage of their show, whatever the revenue is, in perpetuity. Right.
Okay.
So, and I can say that in the offer and say, but listen, I understand that this is doing, I want to help you do this. So I'm going to get rid of all of that. It's not $20,000 or $19,950. And it's not going to be, a percentage of your revenue. I want to help you get started for, and it's going to be $5,000, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm only working with 5 people on this because it's very time consuming and I want to really dedicate the time. So we need to make sure that that we match up. And the way to do that is to get on a call with my main person, James Bartlett or whoever it is, my main, however I want to coach or whatever it's going to be. They'll go through the steps with you. They'll talk to you about what you're envisioning. Mm-hmm. And if it matches up, then you and I will get on the phone and we'll talk about where you want to go. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
So that can be the buffer. And then James can close them on the deal. He can say, or like, he can go like, oh, this person's crazy. They got the money, but they're crazy. I don't want to work with them.
Okay, cool. So you can actually even have an apply now, right? So instead of saying just jump on the call with him, you can actually, what I've done is actually make them answer like a couple questions. And if those questions align with what I want to work, do I want to work with them? Like if they're just looking to, like I won't work with, a chiropractor that's looking to get more business. Like it's just boring. Like I just don't want to do it. So you can actually have a couple questions that really shows you like, hey, this is kind of who I want to work with. And then he can call them back. So
and I love, by the way, that questionnaire thing that you sent me, whatever that program is.
Oh, Typeform.
Oh, sweet. It's like, and plus your questions are fun. It's like how you word it. You kind of want to answer them,
Yeah, cool. No, I'm happy you like it. I was actually talking to one of my friends and I was like, I wonder if I should send him this one or send him Typeform. And I was like, yeah, he's, you're artistic and
totally.
Creative, right? So Typeform's fun. I like it.
Totally.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, if you send me a questionnaire to Google Docs, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to answer it.
No, I was like,
yeah.
I like it. I like aesthetics. That's why I like Garrett's stuff. It's like, he's got the bling, he's got the, the wake up warrior stuff,
Yeah.
So
also, who is the people that, not, you don't want to be like anybody, but let's just say, who would you be similar to? Like, once everything's done, who, like, do you envision you could do it better or do it similar, but better? Like, who could you do it better than? I mean, Garrett's pretty great. You're not saying you're better than him or anything. You're just, who do I want to kind of be like?
I love Garrett. I'm like Garrett, but I'm like I'm not going to punch you in the face, Garrett. I'm the guy that's going to be like, no, I'm going to punch you in the face in terms of the words I'm using and the calling, like literally calling you on your stuff. But I'm not going to be like, who the F are you, mother effer? It's like, listen, I get what your answer is, but there's something deeper. Where is that coming from?
Yeah.
How are you going to answer that? So I like what Garrett's doing in terms of transformation.
Yeah.
I like, in terms of how he engages people and what he does, Tim's story. I don't know if you followed Tim.
I have, So you like his transformation, his story. What else?
And I like that he's created this culture of people that are so dedicated to that path, and that's what I like, because I kind of don't want people that are going to be like, hey, great, okay, see you later. I want to build a community.
And you can, you absolutely have it. Honestly, when I listen to you, like when you start like, kind of pretending you're in the webinar or kind of telling me what you're doing, like you have it. Like you're like the Russell Brunson of your industry. Like you have it. Like you could persuade me to buy pretty much anything, which is cool. Like just listening to you, like it sounds like, I don't know, most people I work with are scared to get on the webinar. You could launch a webinar and just be gone.
I'm ready to go. Like I want to do it. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah. No, this is awesome.
It's just making sure I have that I know it well enough. And I talk about that as part of one of the things for the star power, these guys that are going in and they're not sure. It's about preparedness. And I tell the story. Remember the movie, The Green Mile? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Right. So I auditioned for that movie, but I auditioned for the little tiny guy. Right. Yeah. And I'm 6'4", and I went in and Molly. Yeah. I'm 6'4". And by the way, hang on, I'll show you this.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Just so you have some reality. So you may have seen it on my social media, but that's my wife.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? That's when she was at San Francisco Ballet. So the fun thing for me is that, I just want to make sure that I have everything down. And when I went to this audition, I was reading and I had the script, and you're always told, hey, well, when you have the script in hand, always hold it and don't memorize it completely. This is what they used to say, because then they'll think you're doing a performance, and then they'll think that that's all that you can do. So I was like, okay. So I go in, and the casting director, Molly Finn, who's since passed away, it was just she and I, and the camera, right? The camera's here and she's here, and she goes, okay, you ready? Now she was seeing 5 different characters, 5 different roles that day. Yeah. Right. So it's probably like 100 guys, 5 different roles. And the cameras are sitting, and she goes, yeah. I said, do you need me to slate? Which is like, you say, hi, James Barbour. I'm reading for such and such. She goes, no, go ahead. And I'm like, who am I reading with? She goes, me. And it was a 6-page scene, Latasha. And she had no papers. I was the first guy. And I'm like, okay. She goes, all right, let's go. She had the entire thing memorized.
Wow.
All 5 characters she was seeing that day memorized.
What?
And I went, I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared. The casting director is more prepared than I am. So I teach that about preparedness, because if even if you don't have your script 100%, but your bullet points so well. Yeah. Like Russell can sell ClickFunnels in his sleep, Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want him to slow down.
Yeah.
I want him to slow down.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he goes so fast you can't grasp it.
No, he does, yeah.
But as long as I'm prepared and I know what I'm talking about, I'm good all day. So Garrett White, I love that. I love creating the culture. Okay. I like Tim Story's passion because he's a speaker, and I like that. I like that dynamic. Okay. I'm not like, I get Tony Robbins, used to follow him, but I'm not a fan of like the neuro-linguistic I just don't like that stuff. And I kind of feel like he's moving in the financial world. He's kind of like, it's almost like when I watched him, it was kind of like he was just there by rote doing it. I don't want to be that. I want to be fresh. Mm-hmm. But I like that. I like what he does. I like that he transforms people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So Garrett White would be probably the best one that we could look at, like kind of where the direction you want to go without
Yeah.
the harshness. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like he does Wake Up Warrior. I want to do Destiny Rising. You know, it's like,
So you don't tell me these things. This is exciting. So Destiny Rising.
yeah. You know, I thought about like, because everything I've gone through, I talked to Tim Story about it. I'm like, Tim, do I take, because I know that there are people that have been through hell and back. I know that there are. They're just not talking about it, right? And they're afraid. And I know that there are men who have been through what I've been through and worse. Like when I was, you know, like guys that like, you know, dealt with drug issues or whatever issues, and women who have dealt with issues. And I'm not saying that specific niche, but I'm like, well, maybe I do like, you know, the idea of the phoenix, you know, someone who was up, they crashed and they're ashes and they're rising up from the ashes. And there is a group called Phoenix Rising. It's a woman, and he told me about her. But I'm like, I like the idea of destiny. You know, you're rising up. You know, it's like your potential is still yet in front of you. You know, you haven't reached where you want to go.
Okay.
So
Destiny Rising. Okay, cool. Yeah. I like that. So that's a future product as well. So we've got that in there.
We got like 700 future products.
Okay, cool. So we got the boot camp, we got Destiny's Rising, and then got a bunch of stuff I have to look at. And so I think to like get going and like today, like now. Yeah. I mean, because you have pretty much everything. Is your boot camp going to be live?
It will be live. Yeah. I'm going to do it on Zoom.
Okay. When would you want to start your boot camp?
Ideally, I wanted to start it in August, and that's when I had Tiffany starting 3 months ago. And I thought the funnel was going to be done 3 months ago. So now I don't know that I have enough time. I mean, I want to make sure that I can.
August? Like, wait, hold on. What time do you need? What do you need time for?
I just want to make what I'm afraid of is that I'm not going to have enough people signing up.
But that doesn't matter. Just say this is my. You know what you? Okay, you have a couple options here. I would be very forthcoming. Just be like, this is my first live webinar. You know, you guys are part of the beta testing group, okay? And the reason why you position like this, I'm actually really good friends with somebody called Dylan Jones, named Dylan Jones, and he's actually one of the creators of ClickFunnels. This is something that people don't know about ClickFunnels, but if you look him up, it's his software, right? He's actually one of my good friends. He lives in Vancouver, and this stays between me and you, obviously. But they're buying him out of the company. It's become a very ugly situation. But I sat down with him, and I can do the same game plan with you. Like I literally sat down, did the same game plan that ClickFunnels actually did to launch to where they were in the first 3 months or whatever. Right. So what it is, so what it is you're going to launch your challenge live. You're going to be forthcoming with it and say this is your first, this is your first product that you're launching. You're super excited about it, or not first product. You have products, but this is your first live challenge you're doing. You're only looking to work with an exclusive amount of people. So you can even put a cap on it, right? Yeah. So say, I don't know, you're at 1,500 per person, right?
Yeah. I was going to say 15 to 20 max.
15 to 20 max. That's good, because that's really saying like, you better get in, because I only have 15 to 20 spots. That's not that many people, 1,500. Yeah. So that's like 30 grand. Yeah. That's like 30K. So, and by pre-launching it, what you do is you prove the model. You get some testimonials. So you ask each and every one of these people along the way, for a testimonial or, anything they want to say. You grab as many videos as you can from them, and you're going to use that when you actually officially launch. Right. But in order to officially launch, you're going to actually let me see if I can find it. Where did I put those? You're going to make a page. It's going to look kind of like, I can't show you right now, but it's going to be an affiliate page, okay? It's going to be so custom, like it's actually unreal. So what you do is let me just see if I can find it. Hold on, okay? Okay, yeah. Let me see. It's actually amazing. Hold on. Yeah.
As you're looking, the funny thing for me when I hear stuff like that with Russell and those guys, it's, because you have this Mormon spiritual side of things, it's all love and help. But at the end of the day, it's this business, and
yeah, no, it is. But if you can attach a mission to your business, then you're laughing, right? And doing something good and actually helping people out is. Yeah.
That's what I'm about. It's all about that.
Yeah, me too.
So the guy in Atlanta didn't build the software, as Russell's saying he did?
The guy in Atlanta, who did he say built the software?
What's the guy, what's his partner? The guy that he's all...
Okay, what's his name? They were really good friends. Todd Dickerson.
Todd, yeah.
Yeah. So Todd did. I'll show you. Todd did, but so did Dylan. No, sorry. Dylan wrote it, and then Todd and Russell tried to make a deal with him. Right. Dylan was in his basement, like creating this code. He's a super geek for years.
Right.
Okay. And he finally like made this code. It was amazing. They came out at him over and over and over again until he finally did a deal. Can't remember what the deal was, but he did the deal. All of a sudden, the kid goes from 24 years old, from broke to rich. Okay, super geek. And he bought his mom houses, bought all this crap. He was making like $750,000 a month. Before, like, I met him, I guess about a year and a half ago, and I knew him throughout that whole time, right? Like, he picked me up at the airport. I jumped in his Lambo, and then he dropped me off in a Rolls Royce at the airport. It was just ridiculous, right? For me, I'm not like that. Like, I grew up poor and made it really good, but I understand that. So I'm not about the stuff like that.
Me neither.
But so he picked me up, and then he ended up buying a house in Vancouver for like $10 million. It's ridiculous. And then because ClickFunnels has become so corporate, they don't like his coding, because Dylan is like not a university coder. He's like sat in his basement and learned how to code type kid.
Right.
So you'll see in ClickFunnels software, there's an old editor,
right,
and a new editor.
Right.
The old editor, Dylan created.
Okay.
Then they had a bunch of people come in and recreate the software, right? And so they didn't like his code.
Based on his original code.
Based on his original code. So just upgrading the code, making it better, more simple to use. So when Dylan's just like a coder, he's fun, he's loving, and doesn't want to get involved in the deep down logistics of it, right? So they decided that they didn't like his code, and they started fighting. And so Dylan became like kind of withdrew, and they ended up pulling his contract. And so he's like literally sitting, it's not good. Like, he was in like massive depression. I'd go to his house and he's like super depressed, not feeling good, just so sad. So they're in court right now. And Russell and Dylan were best friends.
That's a shame.
It's really sad. It's actually really, really sad. But anyways, and they're also putting, I shouldn't even say this, but they're also putting him on an NDA, or not NDA, a non-compete.
For how long?
Like 5 years.
But here's the thing. If they're in court, looking at that, and obviously there's proof that he created the foundation code on which ClickFunnels is based, that if that is in fact the case, and he didn't do anything to jeopardize the company, like he didn't go out and sell his code to somebody else, then buying him out, I understand. He's not going to lose. I mean, the thing he may lose is the fact that he's not going to get residual income from ClickFunnels anymore.
Yeah.
But he should get a nice settlement.
Yeah, they're offering like 10 mil.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's not good. Anyways, it's just like super sad.
Yeah.
I feel, and I was kind of torn because I kind of stayed. I did have Infusionsoft too, and then even to come to this event, I was like, Dylan, like, are you upset if I go? Because I'm really good friends with him. He's mentored me a lot, but I was like, he's like, go. It's a great event. Like, you have to go.
Yeah.
I mean, he even knows that. So it's just more sad. It's business. It's honestly, it's business.
It's business, but it's sad that you have two guys that are now not going to be friends. And
over this. It's crazy.
And that's the thing to me, because it's like, well, where does that come? See, when I look at that, honestly, I look at, okay, where does that come from? Because something, and I know this for a fact, when that happens, there's something in there that somebody did. It might not even be one of the three of them.
Yeah.
That somebody did that is causing them to start second guessing, or third party. It's like, it'd be like you and I, oh, everything's great. And then somebody says to you, oh, James, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, what? And then all this, you know what I mean? Somebody is putting something in somebody's ear that is causing that. Because guess what? It was a massively successful relationship.
Yeah.
Look what happened.
It was.
So maybe at the end of the day, hopefully, when everything gets settled, the friendship can at least come back.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope so, because I mean, it's just, it's sad. I mean, going to his house and seeing him like that, I was like, oh my God, Dylan. Like, he literally just got his Hollywood star because I guess he just went to like a fundraiser at like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Uh-huh.
And he ended up getting like, I guess you would know, but I guess like if you go to like charity events, you can pay, and then
you pay $14,000 and you get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah. So he just did that, and then went to like, went to Europe and did like the car race with all those
Yeah.
nice cars and all that stuff, right? And then to see his life like this now, it's just completely different. Like he just got.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And see, this is where I'd like to get in and go, look at what you have, right? This is where my expertise comes in, because I've been through right. And you look at the skill set that he has, even though he may have a non-compete on this, doesn't mean he has a non-compete on this. He can coach people. He can take, he's certainly made enough money that he probably is okay, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And whatever settlement's going to come in, if it's at least 10 million, he's going to be okay, right? Yeah. But how do you leverage that? He can then take that and create something else. Because if he was able to create the foundation for ClickFunnels, he can certainly create the foundation for something massive else.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
It's like Wozniak, and those guys with Apple.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. I don't know. I mean, he does need somebody. He's got a couple coaches and stuff that actually help him out, but he needs, like, he's got like 4 coaches just to get him through what he's been doing from August to now, right? Like, it's just been the epitome of depression, right? So anyways, whatever. I hope he does it. And he does need someone eventually to tell him that he can do something else, right? Or swing this into coaching and
totally.
Yeah.
He has the world open to and even if it's you saying to him, listen, one of my clients went through this all the way down to things that you never even want to think about and is built back up. And it's possible with the skill set. I didn't do anything for almost 7 years because I was, from 2006 to, I was working here and there, but there was this sort of Damocles hanging over my head. What if we hire him? What happens?
Yeah. So what did you guys do for income during that time?
What I did was a couple of things. I was doing a couple of shows here and there, but I had money from the inheritance that I got that I was basically living on.
Yeah.
But the main thing that I did was I would go and do, I would work with some specific charities that like know me and love me.
Yeah.
And I would help them raise money. And when I would raise money, I would get a 10% commission on what I raised. So if somebody donated, $20,000, I would go out and I'd sing a concert or I'd help them do this. And then I'd go and I'd talk to the high end, people. And I'd say, hey, listen, let's do this. And there'd be somebody there who's a professional fundraiser, like they raise money.
Yeah.
And when they would close, I would get 10%. So I was doing anything I could. I had network marketing. I mean, I was literally scrambling and still,
that's nuts. I mean, that's what most people don't get, right?
You got to.
Yeah, most people don't get it. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Can you see my screen? No, you can't.
I can see you, not your screen. Oh, there it is.
Here. Okay, so ClickFunnels is being ridiculous. This is the one thing I do not like about ClickFunnels, but it happens so rare. But anyways, this is the funnel that I sat with Dylan at his $10 million house. And he went through everything with me. So this is the same model that ClickFunnels did. I'm in the editor, so you can't see the video right now.
Okay.
But pretty much I made 33 videos for each individual person. So let me just go to Wisdom.
Oh, wow.
So it does take a little bit of work, but this is $1 million launch. I mean, you can do.
So what do you mean when you said you hate ClickFunnels because of that? Because it's slow?
Because like right now, I mean, I can't, like if you look, I cannot get this to load. It's not loading, right? It does not happen very often, but sometimes it does.
Yeah, no, I know.
Very rare, and they always fix it. You'll see people bitch about it, but honest to God, like, I mean, it's a software.
Yeah, I get it.
So I have this video. So I made 33 videos. Let me see. Hey, Cindy, I've been watching you crush your business, and I just wanted to say that I absolutely love what you've done with Instagenius. And this is exactly why I wanted to reach out to you. Okay, so that is just 100% custom to, well, it's 100% custom, but it's also not, because the middle part we actually chunked together. Yeah. Obviously, you know how it works, right?
Totally. Yeah. It's what I want to do with my wife's fitness thing. It's, creating 100 exercises. And then it's like, hey, Latasha, I know you want to work on your abdominals and your legs. So I put it together a special video for you. And here you go. And we just pull the abdominals and the legs in. Yeah. And then it wraps around going, great. So I hope you liked it, Latasha. And, log on and see you next week.
There you go. That's perfect. You guys should look at funnel hacking Kaylin Tool for your wife.
Oh, yeah.
Playing the same model that she does. Okay, so this is what I would recommend you to do. Do a pre-launch on your challenge. Do it for August so you can generate some income. I mean, 30 people, you're going to run out of the 20 spots like fast, I would imagine, right? So expect if you're doing content all the time and putting it out there. So let's do a pre-launch. of the challenge. You're going to sell 20 to 30 spots. That's it. And then because it's a pre-launch, it's still not out there, and it kind of entices people like Ted, because he's an affiliate marketer, right? That's from what I got. He's an affiliate marketer.
Ted?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, he makes most of his money from his high-end clients, and he's actually what he'll do is, like, he has other people that in the industry that he knows of, and basically he's been building his list by saying, hey, listen, I'll help you launch yours if you help me launch mine. So, you know, an email will be sent out to, you know, one of his friends who's got a list of like 150,000 people, whatever, 30,000 people, and says, hey, we know you like this. You know, Ted McGrath is launching Message for Millions. We're a big fan of it. It's right here.
Okay. Right.
And he'll give them a percentage of it. But his real money comes in with personal coaches in the high-end ticket.
Okay. Okay, cool. So the only reason I said Ted is because I actually made one of these for Ted a long time ago, eh?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I actually have it here in ClickFunnels, but I only sent it out to about 5 different people, and I ended up getting exactly who I needed. So when I did this with Dylan, he was like, I can't remember the percent was, but it was we wanted 3 people out of 33 contacts, right?
Okay.
So what we're going to do is I could even copy this right to yours, but you would say, like, let's just say you find your top people you want to work with, or you want to help you launch your product, right? So I don't know who those top people are, but just find out who they are. And then you would do a page like this, like, hello, Jack, Chris, or whatever. And then you would have all your content here, and they'd be able to book a webinar, and I'll explain about the webinar, and you can explain about your core product, what that person will get for a commission from selling your product, a little bit about yourself, and then
I got it.
Yeah.
So this is after.
This is
this the pre-launch for the first webinar, or is this after I do the first 15 people?
After you do your first 15 people.
Yes, I totally get it.
Yeah. So we'll also do a letter like this. I did this on Canva, and you just change I mean, for someone to see this, they're like, what the hell? Like, she actually put this much time into it. Yeah. I mean, it did take a lot of time. And then it's got the product overview, and then just the structure for them to book a webinar. This is the script I was telling you about. So you do have to code it. But this is so this is exactly what I would do on your page. I would do like a code like this, and then your scheduler would pop up right here.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So anyway, so your whole goal with this is, let me get back to where we are. Okay, so your whole goal with this is going to be to just get those people to promote your product. So instead of wasting money on Facebook ads, you're gonna like connect with them and be like, I want to do an exclusive launch with you because X, Y, and Z. And here's a bit about my product. Here's a bit about myself, and they'll probably know who you are. Some of the people you're contacting, and you just want a small amount of those people to all do a launch with you. So they're going to go to their list. Like Ted will go to his list and say, hey, this is my buddy James. You guys have to listen to what he's got to say because X, Y, and Z, whatever. And they'll say, okay, and they'll launch it to like, 5,000, 20,000, whatever it is. And from those 20,000, they already trust Ted. And now you got this product that he doesn't have, but he trusts you. So they buy it from him. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Right? Exactly. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. And
so it's like, I've got Tim Story. I've got Grant Cardone, if Grant will do it. I've got Lewis Howes. I've got Ted. You know what I mean? If Lewis will do it. So it's like, Lewis sometimes, Lewis kind of gets, blinders on with his stuff.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of people who can send this out. And so what percentage do you give them?
Okay, so it's 40 or 50%. I would say even 50, because if you want to do a pre-launch, like honestly, you've already created the product. You did your live webinar, okay? Sorry, your live challenge. Your live challenge videos, we're going to put them into a funnel or into a membership site, right? And then so those will be recorded, and then you're going to put them into a membership site. So the only thing you got to remember on your live stream is either just say if you're catching this live or it's recorded or whatever, right?
Right.
So then you're going to put it into your membership site, and then you're going to have them help you to launch it. And so all that live content you created is going to become your full out challenge. That's going to be a automated product.
Got it. Yeah,
right?
I got it.
So if you get let's just say you get 5 of these guys to launch, I mean, you're looking at it's ridiculous. Like Grant Cardone. Okay, if you get Grant to launch your stuff,
I got to talk to him. I'm like, come on, man. Because see, the whole idea, I talked to Grant about this before. I was like, dude, what's missing in the actors and the entrepreneurs and the artists world and the sports world is they don't know how to sell, dude. They don't get it. So, you know, the whole thing was created. My whole idea was created the fact that Grant has all of these videos sitting there, and he put out his million dollar booklet. And the freaking brilliant thing about the $1 million booklet is he goes, how do you make $1 million? Right. And he goes, okay, so if you have 16 people, 5,000 people paying you $16 a month, 5,000 people paying you $17 each month is $1 million.
Holy crap.
Right? And I was like, 5,000 people, $70 a month is $1 million. I was like, holy crap. Then you just cut it down.
Yeah.
You know, either higher ticket price or lower ticket price with more people.
Yeah.
So that's where it came from. And I was like, if I can create a business thing for artists, if I can create a thriving artist brand and say, Grant, let's use some of your sales stuff. Right. And he's like, dude, I'm all over it, man. You know how he is.
Yeah.
So, but he's also like so dispersed that I got to sit him down and go, dude, you know, let's do this.
Yeah.
So
you're pretty good friends with him then?
Yeah. He's a very, very close friend of mine.
Okay. So when you talk to these guys, if you don't have something, I mean, these guys are like ADD crazy, right? So if you don't have
it's got to be now.
Book right now. Like, hey, when's your next free time? Let's book right now. Then it's gonna just be forgotten. Not because they want to forget it, just because they need it like right now. So
plus my TV show is on his network. So as I create more content and I'm pushing this in, it's gonna be great.
Cool. Okay. So, so we'll set one of these up as well, but I think like holding your challenge in August is the best thing.
Okay.
I mean, it's 20 or 30 people. You might have to hustle a little bit, but it's like not that much.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's a long time. I mean, it's the end of May. So that's like 2 months.
Yeah.
For 30
I look at it in terms of concerts because I've got to fill a concert out. But the cool thing is that this is live. So they don't, I'm a webinar. So I mean, a live stream. So they don't have to go to a space.
No.
I normally take 6 to 8 weeks to fill a room, but they're not actually going. And with the live event, like I don't have to set the dates for the live event.
Yeah.
I can say, listen, it's going to be 6-week boot camp. We're going to set the live event, but I want to find out when all of you guys are going to be available.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
What about did you tell me create your own concert? Was that you?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
One of the things that I would say to these people are like, well, it's that money. I said, listen, if I could show you, if you're a singer, how to create your own concert and generate $1,000 in revenue each time you did it, would that be beneficial to you?
Yeah. That's huge. Yeah.
You do it twice, you paid for it.
Yeah.
You know?
My little brother's friend, he's 17 and he held his own first concert and charged everybody $2. And he filled it. There was tons of people there. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
You know what I did? I did $150. This is at Birdland in New York. It's about 145 seats, right? Birdland Jazz Club, Charlie Parker. I mean, all these amazing people.
Yeah.
It's a great venue. And I was like, how do I raise it? Because they cap the price. Like when I do concerts, I'll sometimes charge $75 if I can control the ticket price. But their top ticket price is $45. And I'm like, that sucks, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we want to keep it steady. And they make all their money from the food and the drinks. So I said, well, wait a minute. I'm going to do a $150 VIP ticket. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to sell, right? Yeah. And what that got them was it got them access to come to the venue early, be there for sound check. They can take pictures. They get a lanyard that says VIP access. They got, I got them like wristbands. Like I have these things that I made. Hang on. I've got these wristbands.
Oh, cool.
I've got your Star Power wristbands, right? And they got that. And then they got their ticket, their VIP ticket was fine. It was covered. And they get there's a 2-drink minimum. So they cover their 2-drink minimum.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know. I'm going to do I'll do 6 tickets at $150. 15 minutes. Gone. And people are like, I didn't get enough. So then I had to cap it out at 10. So that's the product that I did through Infusionsoft. And it's like, that's how I raised my bottom line. Well, they're only going to charge $45 at Birdland. So I go, okay, well, I'll do a VIP ticket for $150. And I give Birdland, not the $45 seat, because that's their premium. I give them $25 off the $150 ticket.
That's awesome.
And they sit in a regular seat. And I was like, so that to me is, it's so much fun to do that because to figure it out,
How'd you sell that ticket? Was that online or how'd you do that?
Yeah. I sent an email. It was just to my newsletter. I said, hey, I'm doing a VIP ticket, but in order to, it was through Infusionsoft,
Yeah.
because that's what I had. And I said, and I would start peppering it early. I said, listen, tickets are going to go out, but they only go out to James Barbour Insider Access members first. Everybody else, you're going to have to wait. And this sells out, so you want to. That's how I was building my list, even though it was, I only have like 12 or 1,300 people on the list.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. So your Facebook group, sorry, how many exactly do you have?
My fan page is like
7,500 or something.
Yeah.
But you don't have a Facebook group?
I just started a Facebook group, and it's got like 100 people in it, I think. But it's for thriving artists, and then I changed the name to Thrive.
You know what? You could, if you have all this content for artists, let's just get this one down. But if you have that group for artists and you already have everything for it, let's just use it. Just do 2 webinars.
Okay.
Energy of time. Why not? Just,
it's
not, and it's not going from like product to product. Like it's not shifting where people are going to be like, oh, what the hell is he doing? It's the same industry, right? You're saying, I mean, Russell does it every day. So, what else can I ask you? Okay. No, I think we have it. Okay. So, like how long when do you want to have this up? I know you said 3 months. Like when do you think, when would you have your webinar done? That's probably the best question.
I just need to put the content in there. And, it's really about, for me, it was, okay, what am I going to sell on the, what's the content of the actual boot camp?
Yeah. So you can do tips, like tidbits from your boot camp, right? So who's got a good training? You can do tips from your boot camp. So what's like the 3 sections? What's like the 3 big shots? What's the boot camp 6 weeks, right?
Yeah. So initially what I was going to do was, if I sent you that Thriving Artist Blueprint. Okay. If I can find it. There it is. And this is what I was going to do on the on that Thriving Artist seminar thing. Mm-hmm. And it's the reality. And basically, I was going to take each chapter of my book in this seminar and go through it. And the reality was realizing where you are. Like, for example, as an artist, if you want to be on Broadway, but you're living in, Idaho, you're not going to be on Broadway. If you want to be in Hollywood and you're living in Poughkeepsie, New York, you've got to look at the reality of the situation. And I talk about apprenticeship, which is how I start the coaching thing. It's like, you need to apprentice. Nowadays, it's just, I'm just going to go and make it. But in the old days, a blacksmith would actually learn from somebody who's a master blacksmith. So if you learn from somebody, you know what to do, right? Then I had artist math, which is that I told you about that. Then I went through the pesky manager. I went through the starving artist syndrome and why it's important to make your mindset proper and cut out the negativity in your life. Then I go to what if you could have what you want? You have to identify your purpose, confront the reality of where you are in life, remove any obstacles. And to me, those things are the 3 things that I want to talk about, right? Okay. So it's the, I'll just go through it. And then I do, where's my money? Why residual income is important, because artists give up because they don't have enough money to actually sustain themselves. So what that comes with is all these different things that you can do. One of which is, hey, you can be an affiliate. You like this program, you can actually sell this program and make money, right? I talk about that. Okay. The fact that you are your product, and then I go through why branding is so important, why you are your product, naming 3 people in your field who have branded themselves outside of their profession, and 3 things that you can do to start branding yourself right now. Then confusion, find something you want to do, change or make, and write it down. You've now taken the chaos and confusion out of what you want to do. You've taken the indecision out. You write down the first steps to where you're going. Continue to find that, and then do what others won't, and then create something as the final step. So those are the things that I was going to teach in the entire Thriving Artist seminar. But it's a lot of material. That to me is like, that to me is a video series. Okay. Each one is broken down.
Yeah, video series right now are not doing as good, but the webinars are doing the best. So you want to give people.
I can sell them to a video series. In other words, I'm doing a live webinar and say, hey, listen. So you can do the Thriving Artist Boot Camp, or whatever I'm going to call it, right? The Star Power Boot Camp, where I'm going to talk about, confronting, identifying, confronting, and removing the confusion that's in your life so that you can actually get to where you want to go.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are the buttons that seem to be hitting. Doubt button is huge for the people that I'm working with.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what I was saying was I could actually later on create, an 8-video series for, $97 that I say, hey, listen, you can actually go and take the Thriving Artist video series. It's only $97 and you have it for life, whatever it is,
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely, we'll do that later. That's a future idea as well. So so I think like what I need from you, to like get the webinar up is, and we can change it, but I would say like get it up fast. So the biggest thing is to finish out what perfect webinar, and that perfect webinar is going to spit all of this out, but you need your webinar completed, and then you need your webinar headline, obviously, because that's going to be, and your sub headline plus.
Yeah, I think I have it.
Headline. And then you want the 3 things you're going to be training on, and then a breakdown. So like maybe like 5 sentences. I don't know, not that much, but like, look at the perfect webinar. Is it called perfect webinar?
I believe
no, funnel scripts. No, sorry, funnel scripts.
Oh, funnel scripts, yeah.
So,
which I don't have. Is that beneficial to get?
Wait, you don't have funnel scripts. How are you writing your perfect webinar?
Because I got the perfect webinar. I bought it.
Oh, so you're having to write out the content for your webinar.
Yeah, but I was able to download the template into PowerPoint or into Keynote, so it just opens up, and I just fill in.
Yeah, for you, honestly, because you're a writer and you're great with your words, so I'm sure that's fine. Funnel scripts is great. I mean, it's I would never say don't get funnel scripts. It is the best freaking program ever. But it creates. Let me just go into it. It creates your headlines and everything. I thought you had perfect funnel scripts. Hold on, let me just go to it. So here you can actually create your opportunity headline. So I use this for webinars. So what you do is just, let's say you are, oh my God. So let's just say that, what would be most like you? Software as a service. Whatever, for your wife, okay? So people who want to lose weight.
Yeah.
So you want to come up with a headline for your webinar.
Uh-huh.
So you just go build. So you change all these right here. So lose weight without exercising, lose weight without starving. So let's just do that. So you'll see how it changes. So how to lose weight without starving, without giving up your favorite carbs. Obviously it doesn't make sense. So you just keep going. So how to put your body into fat burning state of ketosis so you can avoid eating only rabbit food for the rest of your life. So it literally just gives you content, right? So this is just for headlines. Yeah. But then if you wanted to do like the perfect webinar, let me just find it.
Yeah, because I'm building, I have the template, and he says like, one of the templates is, the real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which if it does, even half of what I've claimed today on this webinar, it'll pay for itself in X number of days. So, I mean, that's the perfect webinar template that I bought for like, I think it was like $50 or something.
I have it. I have it as well.
Yeah.
Funnel scripts. Where is that? I'll just show you the software. Okay, so this is the perfect webinar software. I don't know if it would be better for you because, I mean, you're going to have to kind of answer these questions, but it spits out all your content. So you'd have to purchase it, and then you just download the software. Yeah. It's actually really good. This is probably one of my favorite products that ClickFunnels or, their companies put out. So just go agree. So pretty much you have everything here. So like you're going to make your name Jim Edwards. And then you just go next. And then you just write the title of your headline. You just keep following it through like that. And it's got 78 questions. So instead, what yours is doing is you have a template and then you change it and that's it. This one, once you, let me just see. Oh, actually I can go like this, open. Yeah. So completed webinars. It's a certain document. Oh, right here. Okay, so it's only this PP or PWW2 that goes in here, but like this is a saved file that I've already done. And so I've already answered a bunch of questions, and then you go build. So from build, you're gonna want the PowerPoint. But remember when I said your headlines? Like it gives you your headlines, your email teasers, it gives you everything.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool. So here's your presentation. So I'm gonna build it. Test. I was a little bit annoyed actually when ClickFunnels, I wasn't annoyed, it was $50, but when they sold me the perfect webinar, and then all of a sudden, and then I realized, and then they also have this. I think it was before he started working with Todd, or with the guy that built this. That's when and he created that software, the slide. But now that they have this software, this is like the go-to.
Yeah, I literally just bought the perfect webinar last month.
Oh, okay, yeah. So here's pretty much everything. Who is Latasha Mitchell, right? My story, results, proof. Like this looks like crap, but anyways, like that's what the perfect webinar spits out, and then you can customize it. So this is actually. So I just took all that content and put it into my webinar.
Got it. So then you go in and add images and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm like also very aesthetic as well, so it has to. Yeah. It has to look good. And I also don't like reading. Like I could never be an actor. I don't like reading script, like a bunch of it. So,
no, me neither.
Oh, really?
No, I hate it.
Oh, I thought
I get a bullet point and then I talk.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So so this is the webinar that I created. So it's just like a little fun, and it's just different than everybody else's, right?
Yeah.
So, so pretty much I take the content from the perfect webinar from the software, and then I just take it and I put it into this, into my slide deck. So is
this a subscription or is it a one-timer?
It's one time. I believe it's like $500. It's a lot, but it's honestly, it's worth it. It's going to save you a crap load of time. And then you can go in and edit it. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be pretty close to good enough. But I mean, you can go in and change things as you want later on. But it's really good.
Okay.
And Facebook ads. It's got, Facebook newsfeed scripts.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah. It's got everything. It's got emails. Like you can do follow-ups.
And now, so are they going to update this? Because obviously with the new Facebook stuff coming out and all the security and stuff and all that stuff, do they continually update this?
Yeah. It's always been updated. So I'll send you the link for this. And you can, if you want to get it, I highly recommend it. It's honest to God. It's probably the one thing I do recommend aside from the software. This is it. You need these two things and you're good to go.
Okay.
So if you
want
make sure
it's an affiliate link so you get your thing.
No, thank you. Yeah, I'll send it to you. But honest to God, it's going to save you so much time. Like I love it. I use it all the time. So you can do lead captures, even like your order bump scripts. Like, how you have those buttons, right?
Yeah.
So we want to do a software upsell or extra bottle supplements. What were we talking about? Okay, let's think about your wife again. So weight loss. And this is for the order bumps. So see the box right here?
Yeah.
So want to convert, see, it's got like this is what the content it makes. So you don't have to think about anything.
I got it. And so you go in the questionnaire, you change where the pricing is and all that stuff.
Yeah. So how much is the offer price? Let's go $297 or $299. And then James' copy. Okay, so build. So James Cafe, whatever. So you just put like, want our James Cafe. It's proven to melt fat and lose weight. Click yes to add this order now or for just $299. Like it literally just makes your stuff.
Right. The thing that I'm looking at though is that his examples, mine don't match that.
You're right. So all of them don't have examples, and neither does the perfect webinar. But I just pick whatever's closest to mine. Like I don't sell a software. It's a product. So you just have to customize it. And it's not always like, they've also got things down here that you can choose. Right. So biohacking secrets. So it could be like industry secrets or whatever you want to put. Like it could be like, whatever, let's just say you're in biohacking. So you can change all of these to do whatever you want. It literally doesn't have to be in the same industry that they're showing. These are just templates. And
so let's say like, what are you offering in the bump? So put in there like, a course on how to like remove doubt, like, and see what happens.
Let's go doubt removing
Secrets.
So you want to stay like really close to what they have here. So perfect webinar wizard. So doubt removing secrets. Okay. So it's a home study course. And what's the big payoff they get? Make more sales?
It would be
no, doubt removing.
Yeah, it would be like,
get rid of doubt. Or no, that's gonna be too no.
Or release, become the star in your field. Just see what happens. I just want to see what it would look like with.
Let's go become the star. It's got to be very, very close.
Sure.
What simple action do they need to take to get the payoff? Fill in the blanks?
Yeah, exactly.
And then what's a negative thing or action they want to avoid? Wasting money, wasting time.
Wasting time, yeah.
And then we want it for like $97.
Yeah.
Okay, so chocolate coffee box. There you go. Can you see it?
Secrets proven to become. Click yes to add. When I don't remember secrets, it's proven to become a star without wasting time. Click yes.
So
when I new home study course version. Yeah. Oh, I see. That's cool.
Yeah. So
the third one is great. Want the new home study course version of doubt removing secrets that helps you become the star. Yeah.
And you don't have to use this. I mean, you just copy it and then you add it to it or delete or whatever you want to do. Right. So for me, I mean, like for you, this might be completely useless, but for me, I hate copywriting. So this is great. Like I just put it in there and, and it's done. So yeah. I'll send you the link if you want it.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, if you're already halfway through your webinar or pretty much done it, just go back in and fill it out and you can get this later or do it later or whatever. Yeah. But if you're already on the path of being done, just finish it.
Well, the other thing too is that like he'll put in things that'll be like, and I did secret number 1, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, which secret is that? Is that like, you know what I mean? That's where I get confused.
I know. That's terrible. I know exactly what you mean. And it's honestly, I thought I was the only one that gets stuck on that, but yeah, because he's like giving you the secrets to each one that you just talked about. Right. And it's like, it's
exactly
hard to follow along with it.
Yeah. And I have to go back and listen to the webinar and go, oh, that's what he's talking about. Then I go and write it in,
Yeah. So the software is actually better. I'll send you the link. I'll send you an email. Okay. I have to get my kid.
Yeah. Go. I got to go see mine too.
Yeah. No, it was so awesome talking to you. And I'm going to get everything together, but let me know when you're finished your webinar.
Yeah, I will.
And what do you have like as far as if we can make a deal, like I can utilize your story and maybe a testimonial or whatever, I can do it for, it's really not that much. We're really going to just take a funnel that I already have and we're going to put your content into it.
Yeah.
So it would just be, I would just do it for the cost of my guy. If you don't mind me like promoting and working with you, I'll never like, it'll always be in good taste and whatever. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Here's my one thing is that if you're going to put something out like with my image or something like that, I just let me know ahead of time just so I can go, oh, don't say that, or yeah, that's totally fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because I'm so mindful of where how I built.
Yeah.
And it's like, those things are cool to say or, but I'm absolutely 100% open to going, look, I'm helping him build this because what my goal is going to be is like, at the end of this is like, look, you want to build your own business, guys? This is how I've done it. And you know what? Who did it for me? This person. And I'm going to send them all back to you.
Yeah,
you
that's cool. Yeah,
so it becomes this cyclical thing where people are like, well, how do I do it? I don't know how to do it. Well, guess what? Me neither. But you can go to her and she'll help you.
Yeah.
So I'm all about that.
Awesome. So let's just get your webinar done. And then for us to get the funnel out there and the content, honest to God, it's going to take I can have it done in a couple hours.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's easy to do, but just let me know when that's done and I'll send you the link for this funnel script.
Uh-huh.
I would highly recommend it. And then exactly what I asked you for, it's going to spit out those, right? So especially, how you don't like to read like script, right? you can actually go into funnel scripts and it will spit out, I have never used it, but it's a template. So it's almost like you can just look at it and say, and talk about that part of your webinar.
Okay.
Opposed to reading it portion for portion, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I'll send it to you. Let me know what you think, but let's get your webinar done and let's get it up there. And yeah.
All right, great. And then send me like, just so I have it, like, do this, do this, do this, do this. So I have like what you need from me.
Okay.
Aside from me. And then, and I'm going to focus on, I think the webinar is going to be focusing on the clearing the confusion to unleash the hidden artist star power within yourself or something like that. That's what I think
just only thing you got to focus on right now is just the webinar. I'm going to get this all into like a document so you can actually go through and understand everything we talked about. And then you won't be so confused. Like it's literally going to be a complete game plan for you. So you can either just execute it yourself or I can help you execute it or whatever you want to do. But let me get that together for you. It's going to take me like 5 or 6 days. In between that, I would just do your webinar. And as soon as that webinar is done, we can literally just put it all together and 2 days later you'll have your stuff. So.
All right, great. And I'm going to get rid of Infusionsoft in the meantime. So I just
do it. It's just money going on.
Yeah, it's a waste of money.
How much?
All right, you're awesome. What's that?
How much are you paying for it?
$230, I think, a month.
Yeah, so you're paying $500 for ClickFunnels and Infusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, cool. I'll send you the link to Perfect Webinar, and then just 3 things that I need from you. Like that's all I need right now to get the content in there. And yeah,
great.
Go from there. Okay, cool. All
right, good.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, yeah.
Bye.
You too. Bye.